Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good
Evening.
Yeah. How's everyone doing?
Nailed it.
That was the first time ever. It took us 13 episodes, but we got it spot on that. How you doing, Trans? You okay?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired, but I'm okay.
You're a little
I'm
tired.
here. I'm here, guys. I'm not in bed sleeping away. I'm here.
You're tired? Oh, long day then today.
Long day.
Oh no.
I've been up since 7:30, you guys. I am so ready for a nap. I'm like, yeah.
To be honest, I did have a little bit of a nap, and I woke up like an hour before, and I was just
jealous.
yeah.
It's so horrible. Having a nap. I can't have a
Yes.
nap. I don't get a nap.
I know, old age kicking in as well.
Shut up.
Anywho's, but yeah,
You're younger than me. How the hell are you old? What the shit?
Yeah, it's the grey hairs kicking in.
Wink, wink. Gray hairs too. See those bright highlights? They ain't highlights, y'all. They're gray hair.
I'm glad you mentioned about that for anyone that's listening on the audio podcast. I'm so sorry to everyone that is listening from the audio side of things as well. But yeah, we're back for episode 13. Episode 13 of the Bish Bash Bosh. Of season 2 of the Bish Bash Bosh.
2, that's right.
Yeah, don't swear. Don't swear.
I didn't swear. I didn't.
I was going to say. But yeah, it should be a mad season, to be fair, because we was meant to have a streamer coming on this week, but unfortunately she could not make it this week. Okay. So we said to her we'll try and make her come on another day if we can. But yeah, I mean, not only that, we've got a return, should we say, of a particular streamer as well. It should be a class one. And none other than Daddy Senpai. Gotcha.
Every time.
It never fails.
Never fails indeed. How you doing, mate? You all right? Good?
All right. Hang on there. I didn't choke this time.
Speaking of, Daddy Senpai did give me a tier 1 subscription. Thank you, homie. Appreciate it. All the love, buddy.
Let it run.
And Vanilla, hey, buddy. How are you today? Hope you're having a good afternoon.
Hello.
The new bed sheet. Oh, I didn't notice those. Trap noticed them and I didn't. You got new bed sheets. Those look so cool, dude. I like them. They're badass.
Oh, mine.
Your sheets. Yes.
Yeah.
Your fucking sheets.
Oh yeah. It's just the same old, really.
I love them. They're cool.
Is that a whole skyline thing you got going on?
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty awesome looking. I like
to be fair, it's a New York skyline. Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that.
What's this? I'm sorry to everyone listening to the audio. Imagine that, but longer.
I love
Imagine
it.
that,
It's so badass.
It's better on the pillowcase.
And it all matches too, guys. It all matches.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Trapper. Trapper, how you doing?
Hey, Trapper. Good to see you, buddy.
Vanilla.
And it's been a minute.
I know, mad scenes. But yeah, it should be a class. Whatever happens in this episode, I'll just hope that the senpai does not choke on any more of those drinks during the podcast. Are you sure?
Yeah.
But yeah, thank God for that. But yeah, it should be good stuff, to be fair, because obviously we've got quite a few stuff to get through. Because we're not going to do the questions, because the Daddy Senpai has already done, he's already completed it in one season, so we're not going to ask him again with the same questions. So, but yeah, it should be a mad.
Damn, Vanilla.
Starting off strong.
Of course.
We do apologise. We're not repeating any of Vanilla's comments during the podcast unless they are specifically okay comments, should we say.
I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good either. Like, we're not repeating them because they're not bad, but they're not good. They're kind of...
I mean, the first one's good, right? If we just kind of got rid of that for him,
Yeah, his banner says first order, and Vanilla says he thought it said something else. Hi, Kel. What's up, buddy? All the love to you. Good to see you again. Welcome.
But yeah, we brought the Daddy Senpai back for the trilogy, true.
Well,
He
can't get rid of me.
He did say that if ever we needed him, just to let him know. We have video proof of this.
Yeah.
He said,
that
"Hey,
doesn't
just
sound
let
like
me
me.
know if you want me to if you want me to join again anytime." He told me. He said this.
That doesn't sound like me.
So
I think
so
it
there's
sounds
a
completely
twin.
like you, buddy.
So it's a twin
My
that
evil
said
twin.
we got an evil twin as well. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're not, as I said, we're not going to do the questions tonight because he's already completed it. He's already done that, to be fair. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a free-form discussion. And to hear our thoughts on particularly the articles or anything that we've never heard, or if you guys have heard.
We have a
articles
discussion
itself.
topic, but we're just going to have a free form. We're just going to have a free form chat, if you will, after when we would normally have the interviews. So
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just reading some of the comments.
Vanilla says either way, a stormtrooper can get it. Love a man in uniform. All right. Kel goes, listening to Vox Machina got to the part where Vax shaves off half of Grog's beard. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Mad scenes, to be fair. Absolutely
Yes,
mad.
100%.
So what we're going to do, guys, is, as I said, we're going to do the first segment, which is the PC console news. The second one, I will put down as what Trent said will be the main discussion, but then straight after that will be the freeform discussion. And then we got our own brand new segment started a few weeks ago. Well, we've already had it for ages as a side note, but properly now is the updates on GTA RP, which I'm hoping the Daily Senpai as well as Trans will give their thoughts of what happened in the GTA RP. That sounded so confident, but that
we got a little bit to talk about today on GTA RP.
And then we're going to do the Ask Us Anything part, as always, each and every single week as well. So, are you guys all set, ready to go? All good?
Always.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
So, we're going to do the PC console news. So, as anything that Trance has picked up with all the news articles itself, and we'll hear from the news articles itself. And did you want me to do some of them, Trans? Or
if you want, we got short articles today, so we got more time to talk about them. So
okay, I'll let you decide which one you want to do. The first two, and I'll do the last two. It's up to you.
Yes, I will do the first two, and you can do the last two. So.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
All right, so starting you off today, guys, the first article I got was about a week ago, probably a little bit less, maybe about 6 days. The first article I came across was Square Enix officially announces Kingdom Hearts 4. This comes from Nintendo Life. Yes. During the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts, the fourth installment in the series was announced. No platforms have been announced for the game yet, and there is not a release date. All it says at the end of the trailer is Magic still in the making. Square Enix most recently re-released the first 3 games to Nintendo Switch Cloud, and of course, Sora was added to the DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think we reported on that. I think it was last season.
Yeah.
The current trailer that they have available is in Japanese. There are no closed captions. I tried to get closed captions. It wouldn't let me do it. So you just got to watch it and enjoy it. And it does feature part cinematic and part gameplay. Unless you speak Japanese, and then, hey, all for it. You can find the current trailer on YouTube. So, Kingdom Hearts is officially back with a 4th installment in the series. Daddy Senpai over here shaking his head first off the bat. Oh my gosh. I know, you said you didn't like Kingdom Hearts. We talked about this.
I mean, there's a whole slew of reasons that I don't like Kingdom Hearts, but I mean, like, the third one was a dumpster fire, right? Realistically, and like friends who were like lifelong fans of the series were like, "All right, well, I've had enough. It was that bad. Like, you should have just left it." But, like, if you need to watch a 6-hour YouTube video, and I kid you not, I think it's like a 6-hour video that describes like what happens in the games in order for you to get the plot to even play the third game, like something's convoluted somewhere along the lines, because it's like a weird spider web of like bullshittery. Honestly, it's just all over the place. None of it makes any sense, right? It's like one's the soul and one's the heart of the main character from the first game is pretty much what all the spin-offs were, and it was too much. They tried a lot. It was just worse Final Fantasy. That's really how I felt.
I mean, I love Kingdom Hearts. I've
You
loved
like
it since
Disney.
the beginning of the series. I do like Disney.
Yeah, see?
Kel goes, yes, I heard about it. Haven't seen the trailer yet, but so hyped for more Kingdom Hearts. And Vanilla goes, so that means we're going to get Kingdom Hearts 3.1, 3.2, a mobile platformer, a Switch game, and 3 other random games before we get 4.
And they're all going to be canon, and they're all going to have a storyline that makes no sense. That's going to completely, pretty much change the normal canon of the game, because that's what Kingdom
I'm
Hearts
with
does.
you 100% that the storylines have gotten a little convoluted. I'm 100% with you on that. But as far as the concept of the game and the feel of the game, I've always loved the game just in general. And I like the different places that they try to take Sora from the different scenes from the different Disney movies, which is pretty awesome too. So I've always been a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and my friend back in high school was also a big Kingdom Hearts fan. I think she's the one that got me into it. So like everything she had that was Kingdom Hearts, I'm like, oh, I should check this game out or this book or whatever, and I did, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. So I'm a big fan like that. But I mean, it's that RPG feel with the Disney aspects to it, and I'm super stoked for installment 4, whatever they're taking the storyline. I'm super stoked about it. Vanilla goes, waiting for Sora to become an adult because that gummy bear, some man can get it. I bet Sora would be one hell of a good looking adult. Seriously, I really think he would.
Really? I just picture him as being like a brunette cloud, essentially.
I can see it.
That's
But he
really all
wouldn't be
I
as
see him being.
brooding. He's not as brooding though. That's the thing.
Yeah, he'll lose another girlfriend or two along the way, and then he'll be brooding. But no, it's just that funny. You ever seen that comedian who does the skit where he likes to say that J.K. Rowling just wrote sucky Star Wars? Essentially,
Yeah.
how
I haven't seen that.
Harry Potter's just sucky Star Wars.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's much the same thing to me when it comes to Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, like especially because I played the first 2 a lot as a kid, and I really like the addition of all the the Final Fantasy stuff in Kingdom Hearts 2, and that's really what it felt like. It just became was just a suckier Final Fantasy going forward.
I thought it got a bit, as you rightly said, guys, was just got a bit over the top and stuff, like with all the complications and like the different storylines as well. But I mean, I'm hoping that I don't know how you could change the time of like all the timelines and stuff, like all the story modes, because once you've messed that up, you can't go back. Now it's just done and dusted. But I hope that Kingdom Hearts 4 can just settle down and just stop, because I think personally, I mean, I loved it, like the first few games, but then afterwards, I didn't. It just got a bit like they had a remix version, they had different versions, they had the Toy Story characters in, they had all the Disney characters, they had every single character that you could ever possibly could have. But no, I think personally, I think they need to think about stopping the 4. I mean, if you're a big fan of it, I'm so sorry, I'm sounding a bit down on it, but it once you got to the 4th or 5th, it gets worse, doesn't it? As it's like movies, like a trailer. Like the first 2, great. As soon as the 3rd comes out, it goes down. To be fair,
well, 3 is the magic number for everything. So trilogies are usually where most storylines will stop, unless they just want to keep trying to push the series. But 3 is the magic number. After that, people start getting tired of it unless there's some sort of storyline that evolves over the course of the next few stories. Like Star Wars, like Harry Potter, all that stuff. So like it has the evolution of different things happening, which affect things around the world, which make things differently. But if the world's still the same and everything's still the same and people are still doing the same things, it's one of those things kind of like, I mean,
yeah.
like, we've had enough of this. That's 3 is the magic number for just about everything.
It's a gimmick thing to me when it comes to. It's different with movies and other forms of media than it was video games, because it's always a gimmick thing that I think ruins video games, right? Because like take Gears of War for example. The first 3 were phenomenal. Everybody loved the first 3 Gears of War games. And then Judgment came out and they did that whole gimmick where like it wasn't just like a linear map. Now there were like levels to things and it was just all funky and didn't play like a normal Gears of War game. And then they tried going back to it, but then they butchered the storyline. for a lot of fans when 4 and 5 came out on top of that. So
Yeah.
it's usually just like a gimmick thing. Halo had the same issue, right? Where they said Halo started to feel like Call of Duty, and that's what slaughtered Halo's like sales, and then the storyline wasn't good after that. But yeah, Vanilla's not wrong. It's like Kingdom Hearts 21.5, because there's like 8 or 9 mobile games that not mobile, I'm sorry, like handheld games that you probably haven't even heard of, that between the PSP and like the Game Boy that just came out.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Vanilla also had said, I want them to give Kiri some damn screen time and game time. Do something, girl. I think I saw someone that looked like her, but it might have been like a memory. The way the trailer starts out is it looks like it starts in like a Neo Tokyo situation, like a Neo Tokyo type world. And Sora's got some new moves. I noticed that Sora's got a couple more combos that he can do through this trailer when the gameplay happened. You guys can watch it and see for yourself. Mano's like, look, Donald Duck cast some satanic spell in 3, and I need to see more of that shit. That's a good question. What happened with that?
Yeah.
And Trapper goes, disagree. Devil May Cry, prime example.
I mean,
and Kel says, from what I heard, KH3 was supposed to be the end of Sora's story, like it would keep going, but Sora's was over, but I don't know. I don't know either. We'll see.
I mean, with Trapper's comments about Devil May Cry, yeah, there was like loads of Devil May Cry seeds, but one, I mean, some games, I know I was trying to refer to like a movie, 3 should be the magic number, as you rightly said, and that should be it, no more. Or if you do like spin-offs, like what Kingdom Hearts does, 3.1, 3.2, and all the other up to 3.500 or maximum, whatever you want to call it. But personally, I think it's just you don't want. I mean, I loved Uncharted. If you've never played Uncharted, they did 4. They did. To be fair, they did the 4 story modes, and they got it in sync with the story. Yes, they did a few spin-offs on PSP and a few. I think it was a few of the episodes of it, but that was perfect. Yes, I said 3 was perfect, but Uncharted was without doubt the 4th stopped everything. They should have stopped it, and they did it perfectly. So some games look at Nintendo, look at Super Mario. How long has he been going on? For many years now.
That's true.
Different.
I think that's a little different though, right? He never really has like sequels aside from like Galaxy, right? They're just like actual like different games that storyline's not related.
I was just saying, like in general, like as in he's had many games, not in the same storyline as such, like what Kingdom Hearts or Uncharted or any other type, but he's been out for like, God, nearly 40 odd years.
Yeah.
And,
well, I mean, it's been 20 years since the original Kingdom Hearts release, so I think that 20 years, and as long as it's been since Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, it's been quite some time since the last installment and the new installment. So diehard fans, such as myself and of course my friend and anybody else who I know who's played it, are stoked about it because it's been so long since we've had anything new from Kingdom Hearts.
It's only been 2 years.
So this is 3? I thought Kingdom Hearts came out longer than that.
It might have been 3 years, but 3 just came out. Yeah.
I thought it was longer than that.
3 came out on like the Xbox One and everything, like a couple of years ago. So
I was wrong then. That's not a mistake. Vanilla goes, I just want Kitty to kill someone. She needs that experience in her life at least once. She needs to take out a shadow spawn somewhere. Kira and Maleficent join sides and just pull Sora's soul away from Hades. That's a cool idea. I like it. Zelda was lucky enough to just ditch the number on the title curse. Yeah, that's a good point too, Vanilla.
Well, they were another one, right? Like technically their games did happen like in some sort of canon order, but they never like had a second game, right? It was never Twilight Princess 2. I think Breath of the Wild is going to be the first one to get it, right? Like a full-on sequel.
I think so. Yeah.
I think other than that, they haven't really had like an issue. Well, I mean, there was like Link's Awakening, I guess, was like.
Well, the thing about about Zelda is it's different too because there's a different
Link every time.
The different Link each time, yeah. So as the story progresses, it's like reincarnation. So it's a totally different like concept. Like it's not the same Link throughout all of the series.
Imagine like Doctor Strange's madness of infinitive worlds. Imagine that. Can you imagine all that different links all
That's pretty
together
much
in
how
one
it
game.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Doctor Who in that respect. There's different doctors, but it's different
Yeah.
links as reincarnations as opposed to different versions of the Doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I don't really get the right to complain about a game that's been going on for like 25 years and like hasn't changed a single thing because I've been playing the Dynasty Warrior games for like a millennia now, and I think they're coming
Yeah.
out with 9 empires. And for those of you who don't know, it comes out with the base game, and then there's an empires variant where it's pretty much like there's a map and you get to like conquer all of China, like with
Cool.
like your custom characters and stuff. But that means like for in between 1 and 2, it's going to be like 2 other games. So it's just like there's like 20 Dynasty Warrior games that are out, and I play them all. Like there was a Gundams one that came out, and it was like the worst thing I think I've ever played, but it was still fun. But
The boyfriend likes the ancient China ones. He likes those a lot.
oh, they're always fun.
Vanilla goes,
No.
any game where Link can be in his underwear is a good time.
Typical vanilla. And
It
you are right.
depends on the link. That's
Yeah,
the question.
depends. I was going to say you are right, Senpai, because Kingdom
Yeah, I still
Hearts
got that
3 was released back in 25th of January 2019, so just
So it
over
hasn't
3
been that
years
long.
ago.
So it felt longer than it actually has been. So it's
Well, I
been
mean,
about 3
COVID,
years.
right? That sent like that made everything drag on for.
You know
a
what?
Yeah, definitely.
God.
I mean, I could not believe they did Kingdom Hearts 2 back in 2005.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then
And
if
then-
you look at the list, there's like 17 other games that are going to be in between that were all like PSP and Game Boy exclusives.
Well, I've just seen another one just coming up saying Kingdom Hearts High Definition 1.5 Remix. I mean,
Well, that's because they're remastering it, most likely.
but it was annoying because it's like, well, they're going to do a DJing across with all the games itself. Imagine as well. That would
Diablo
be
is
epic.
just as bad as that too, right? How long have people been? Were like people waiting for a brand new Diablo, and then they like announced it, and then they like blue balled everyone by saying it was a mobile game.
Yeah.
Oh no! Like I don't care for Diablo like that, but they did them so filthy. Everybody so thought they were gonna get a new Diablo like teaser and then a release, and then Blizzard hit them with the whole "JK, it's a mobile game." It's not what you think.
But yeah,
No.
I personally am excited about it because I was like, yay, new Kingdom Hearts! Painful memories of Diablo, Trapper
I
says.
told you it was bad. Like there's very few times that I think you get trolled that hard by a game company, and like Blizzard hit everyone right in the gut with that.
Yeah.
Disney just needs that money across 100 games using their brand. You're not wrong.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, I hope that they settled all the story mode of Kingdom Hearts 4 and just hope they don't go mad as such.
I mean, the trailer looks kind of cool, and it has that classic Kingdom Hearts look without it being blocky. It's more rendered, more defined, but it's still the same cartoony look that Kingdom Hearts is known for. But the trailer looks really cool, and like I said, it looks like Sora's got some new abilities and some new things that he can do in his fights. So that's going to be kind of cool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll make it a little fresh, a little bit.
Just a little. Just a tad, to be fair.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, I hope that they bring out a classic and just hope that they settle down with the story mode, as you might have seen with the YouTube itself. But again, the way it looks and the way that they've done it throughout the series itself, they'll probably go different routes to a different storyline, and
we'll see.
Because
I mean, it looks like all you see is like an introductory cinematic, and then an early gameplay. So that's all you see, I think. Vanilla's Kingdom Hearts should have been an MMORPG at this point. You got a point. That would be really cool. People playing their own Keyblade wielders helping Sora in Disney fight. That'd be kind of cool, actually. I would be down for that. That'd be a cool concept, Vanilla. You should totally put that in.
But would you pay a lot of money? Would you pay like an add-on to change it from a normal game to an MMORPG?
I would pay a subscription fee. Yes.
What?
If I was to get into it, then yes.
I won't pay a subscription fee for Final Fantasy. I'm not going to pay a subscription fee for crappy Final Fantasy.
I think it's more of a crossover at this point. Seriously, Dice.
Yeah.
Nah. The gameplay, at least in the first two and a couple of the ones I played, it was literally just Final Fantasy, just with the Disney skin on it. If I wanted to do that, I'd just go like play Smite and throw like Disney skins on a bunch of characters and call it a day.
This guy, legendary.
Got a point.
He has got a point, to be fair. But yeah, let's just hope that they bring a class game as well.
If people are buying handheld consoles for Kingdom Hearts, they will rent their ass for an MMO game. Yeah, you got a good point. That's true, Vanilla, right?
But when would that ever happen? We'll never know.
I don't know.
Disney,
we'll
so
have
never.
To see. Okay, so are we covered on that article then? We pretty much spoke our piece on that one?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so second article I have for you guys today is Battlefield 2042 player count on Steam reaches new low points. This comes from comicbook.com. The concurrent player count fell below 1K on the Steam charts, on Steam charts, which tracks the game data with Steam on PC. Now, it is worth noting that this does only track the data on Steam, so it doesn't reflect how the game is doing on other PC launchers as well as other platforms. So it's just Steam for this particular viewpoint. But we've also known that Battlefield 2042 has kind of been suffering for a little bit because DICE is trying to release DLCs and patches to try and make it better. We will keep tabs on what EA and DICE may do to save the game. I don't know why I can't talk. I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know where that came from, guys. I have no clue. Where EA and DICE may do to save the game. There we go.
DICE.
A free-to-play model was being considered internally earlier this year by people who work for EA. So we'll just have to see if that actually comes out and if that actually is enough to turn the game around. We'll cross our fingers and hope that it is. So what do we think about this one? I know Mount probably has some comments on this because you have a thing about, games being hyped up, and as much as Battlefield 2042 was hyped up and how bad it's been doing since it's been released, you probably have a couple comments on that. So
yeah, I mean that's news. That's first news to me on that one, to be fair. I knew Battlefield, as I said before, I think I've said this like many times in the podcast itself, like where you get a hyped game, you're looking forward to it, that they played it for like 5 minutes and they think, shit, this is shit. Bugs galore, not being fixed, waiting for patches, and patches are not even fixed on the simplest things that they've done. And by this, I mean, I've still got the game, and I still haven't played it yet until they sort it out. I know I bought it, and I thought, I was so hyped. You remembered I was so hyped up. I was so hyped up for it because the trailer looked absolutely freaking awesome.
It was one of the best trailers from EA. It really was. From E3, it was actually really good.
Yeah,
one of the best ones that we saw.
But I do feel worried that this could be the last. I mean, I know I probably sound a bit straight to the point and not thinking about the future itself, but I can't see Battlefield come back into this as such. As in, like, how can they get back into it when they've lost all that credibility from all the players that they've paid £50 or $70 or $90 or over $100 for the Ultimate Edition, which I haven't got, by the way. I just bought the normal game. Thank God for that. But if people who bought the Ultimate Edition and played Battlefield for like many, many years, or any other games that they've been hyped up and they found out it was shit. I mean, you remembered when I mentioned about Driver. I loved Driver, the first one. I loved Driver, the second. And then they did Driver 3. I was so hyped up, so looking forward to it. And then they fucked it up, didn't they? On PS2, because it
came
PS1
out. It was bad.
Yeah. And then that, and following on from the last article, they did a few more games, like what was it? There were some others as well, but then they did like San Francisco, was like the last one, the Drive series that they did. But it was a totally different concept, but it was good. To be fair, it didn't feel like the same on the old series itself, but
We should find out from our friend Rogue how she's enjoying Battlefield 2042 because she was excited about it. We should that and Halo. She was excited about both of those games. So we should check in with her at some point. Just message her and say, "Hey, how are you feeling about the game?" Because we were just talking about how they've been kind of suffering lately, and they're trying to bring it back, and they're trying to find something to save it, but they're not sure what they're going to do to save it yet. Vanilla says hearing EA just curses it. I understand that feeling. Yes, EA has done a lot of letdowns. Vanilla says, does the Ultimate Edition come with a real soldier?
Unfortunately, no. Sorry, Vanilla. Unfortunately, no. But you could try and ask, but they'll probably give you a rubbish answer.
Yeah, they probably need the money. The money's right?
Driver Classic too, so he's 100% with you on Driver Classic.
Let it rain. Let it rain with the money rain train. It's and then Trapper says Driver Classic. Absolutely, yeah. Driver was absolutely classic. And what they should have done, they should have done a remastered of the first and second one, just for that.
Yeah.
Just for the, just to bring it all back, as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Senpai, what's your thoughts of? I know. I mean, just think of it as like a perspective of different games that you've played that you was hyped up for, and then found out it was shit after. Do you know what I mean? As well.
Well, it's a weird one, right? I think DICE is the king of the comeback as far as like the gaming company goes, right? Because everybody shit on Battlefront 2 for how long, and then for a while, for like a solid 2 years there, after the whole EA loot box like thing was taken care of, all you ever heard about was great things from Battlefront when people realized how good the game was, I think. And that's not the first time that happened. It happened with the original Battlefront, the remake, not like the ones from the early 2000s. Battlefield 3 had its own issues and hiccups when it came up. DICE just realistically does put out good stuff. It's just people complain about like the littlest things and then kill a game immediately and then come back to it once like that little kinks worked out. But also releasing an FPS game of that caliber when Warzone's taking over the market still after all these years is just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's the first time we've seen somebody do something like that. When Overwatch came out after being the most hyped game that there was and like the thing everybody wanted to play, Battleborn launched the same weekend, which I guess technically wasn't their fault, but because Blizzard pushed back Overwatch, but Battleborn literally didn't make it off the ground. Battleborn died within like the week it launched because nobody played it because it was the same thing as Overwatch. As far as team-based games goes, they obviously didn't play the same, but it just didn't matter. And I think Battlefield in this sense will be fine before long because not in the same sense as the whole Overwatch Battleborn thing, but it'll come back either when the bugs are fixed or when enough free content's like launched, and then people will start picking up the game and playing it with their friends because it gives them something to do because they'll get bored of Call of Duty eventually. Everybody does. And look at it, it's not even like it's just a Call of Duty killed Battlefield thing. It's Call of Duty can't even get their formula right. It's Warzone's killing Call of Duty, Warzone's killed Battlefield. It's just going to be the way it is. The Battle Royale market's still taking over Fortnite, and Warzone are going to be the reason everything fails when it comes to shooters typically.
Well, it was Fortnite that started off all this battle royale bollocks stuff.
PUBG, I would argue.
PUBG, sorry.
I remember when PUBG was first released and when Fortnite was released shortly thereafter. The reason why I didn't get into PUBG is I saw people playing it, but it didn't look like my thing, and I'm not an FPS person anyway. I played Fortnite just to play it, and I had a lot of fun playing it. And I wound up playing Fortnite over PUBG because I never played PUBG. So personally, that's just me. But I was never a big FPS person. I still kind of am not. It's not my thing. But I've gotten to be more appreciative of it. And there's some games that are FPS that I enjoy playing. But it's just like, it's not like still not my cup of tea. It's still not really my thing.
I think when it comes down to it, Battlefield will come back. DICE does the re-return. That's the issue, right? I think it's been happening since I don't know what year it came out, but Fallout 76 had like that big misconception where everybody was like, it's got Fallout in the name, it's going to be full of NPCs and stuff, and because it was a survival game, which is what Bethesda said it was going to be, it tanked. But once it had more free content, they had that big update that brought all the NPCs into the world, and like that was the thing that brought everybody back. And that game's made a lot of money. If you actually go to like check on it, the player base isn't awful, and I think DICE can do the same thing. It's just they've already done it in the past and proven they can do it with Star Wars. There's no reason Battlefield won't do it.
I think
Good
it was
point.
just. I think it was just more like a bit of a setback because I remembered, like with Warzone killing it as well lately. Vanguard apparently was worse. Apparently in the
Mhm.
Call of Duty series, so it was like two former competitive games, Battlefield and Call of Duty, who had their own separate games, and they cannot compete each other because of Warzone and some of the markets as well. And that is shocking, to be fair, when you think about it. I remember these two were like head to toe, like Call of Duty always comes out in November, Battlefield, whenever it did came out, it was probably like October or something like that. But again, I just hope that they can sort their shit out issues itself. That's what I was trying to say itself. But hopefully, we're trying to see that sorted in the near future for Battlefield.
Vanilla. Quoting my boyfriend's back. My boyfriend's back and he's gonna save my reputation. Hey yeah, my boyfriend's back. BF for Battlefield.
We have to wait and see how. I mean, you were right, Senpai. With dice, not Deece, not Deece.
I'm sorry, my
Big
mind
Fudge
just
come
went
in with the fumble.
haywire.
I
for
did
a
not say
second.
that. You heard that. You heard that.
I did not, and I'm glad I did not.
Oh, I'm sorry, Big Fudge.
Shush! You shush! You shush! It's okay.
Oh no, it's
It's okay. When I actually come to visit you, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you for
Oh, when's that
every time
happening?
you call me Big Fudge, okay? Trapper over there laughing his ass off. Oh my god.
And welcome
It's called
to
calling
the
myself.
what?
Oh, karma.
Welcome to the Bish Bash Bosh podcast. Boom! The Will Smith moment. Smack. There.
Speaking of that, and backtrack to Kingdom Hearts, I meant to bring it up then. Did you see everybody joking around, especially on TikTok, where they want that to be like the genie's quip for when he gets summoned in Kingdom Hearts 4?
No.
What? Which
Yeah,
one?
the whole Will Smith screaming at Chris Rock from like his seat.
Yeah.
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. They want that to
Yeah.
be this whole thing. I'll have to find it and send it to you later. But like, it's the funniest thing because they're just roasting him, and it just brought up Kingdom Hearts with it.
You're right, Vanilla. He probably would like it.
You know.
I've known him
Mad.
long enough.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
We talk a lot, okay? Besides our characters having a relationship in City, we talk a lot as friends.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, Deece.
Malk's just feeling.
Okay, Deece.
It's funny that she like sees the excuse that her mind went haywire, and that's why she said Deece. But that's exactly where the fudge thing came from too. So
Yeah.
No. The fudge came from my mind just slipping into the gutter for like a split second, and me busting out laughing to myself about what I was thinking about, and then coming back and gaining my composure. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
Legs is feeling sassy today, so says Vanilla.
In speech marks mode as well. We'll have to wait and see how everything. What was that?
Exactly.
What was that?
What?
Sorry?
Oh, I said cream machine.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you have an itch over there, Malk? You have an itch?
Yeah. There we go. Anywho, before it gets even worse, we have to try and carry on with the news articles itself. Yeah, so have we all settled with the Battlefield comments?
Yeah.
Anything like that? All good? Okay, so as we agreed, I will do the last two articles. This next one, I am absolutely pissed off about. Absolutely pissed off.
I knew you would be. That's why I said you can do this article. You can do this article. I knew you would be. Not a podcast, not a domestic. Good point, Trapper.
That is true, Trapper. That is absolutely true. I missed you, Dan. Missed you.
We miss you so much, man. All the love to you, buddy. I miss you too, buddy. For real.
So this is article that's come from comicbook.com. I hope this is not 100% serious, because if it is, I am absolutely pissed off as well. Crash Bandicoot fans worried after new developments at guess what? Activision fucking Blizzard.
Yeah.
It didn't say fucking Blizzard, but that's how I say it as well.
Sure it did, Malk, or if it didn't, it should have.
It should have. It should have. So for Vicarious Visions, the studio behind Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, I tell you what, that was absolutely epic, and they did spot on with that trilogy. Has announced that it has officially merged with Blizzard Entertainment. Bastards.
Yeah. This is why I was going to let you do this article, Malk, because I know you have very strong feelings about this.
The one game that I like to the one company I fucking hate. Merge. Why?
You picked the wrong protagonist. That's where that happened.
Yeah.
Always go first.
It's pretty awesome.
I should. Yeah. I mean, the studio will still be based out of Albany, but will not dedicate itself.
That's supposed to be now. Typo on my end, guys. Will dedicate itself.
Thanks. I'll mention it again. The studio will still be based out of Albany, but will now dedicate itself to support for games like Overwatch and World of Warcraft. Fans have been very disappointed and made their feelings known on Twitter. Toys for Bob, the studio that was behind Spyro, has also become a support studio for Call of Duty. The head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, has mentioned that he wishes to see some of Activision Blizzard's dormant franchises return once Microsoft has purchased the company, so now fans can only hope that Crash and Spyro will be part of that venture. Now, before I go into a rampage mode on this article, I knew that Crash and Spyro were going to be merged to Microsoft from PlayStation. I heard that article ages ago. So I understand that bit. This part about this bastard Blizzard, I'm saying Blizzard because that's how I say it at the minute.
They're a villain in their Blizzard. It was close.
Yeah.
It works.
Thanks, man. You got me out of the shit on that one, to be fair. Thank you so much. But can I just say, 1, why? 2, fucking why? And 3, no. I mean, no. Just leave the franchise alone.
Curse those billiards as vanilla.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Curse those billiards. Yeah. So my rampage of Activision Blizzard when they need to sort their shit out has now decided from Vicarious Visions to merge with them. Now, I don't know if Blizzard already got, by the sounds of the articles, saying that the Microsoft is still in contact, like as in it's still not finalized yet. So,
no, it is not finalized yet. This was actually just released a couple days ago.
So in this scene, if it still hasn't been sorted by Microsoft, I am fucking worried because Crash Bandicoot has, from all of our lives that we've known, and
grew up with Crash, man.
Yeah, it feels like I want to go back to PS1, PS2. That's all I want to do now.
Yeah.
Because of this shit. Because of this Blizzard Blizzard shit. I'm calling it now. But
I knew you'd have strong feelings on it. That's why I said you can do the last 2 articles, because I know that you enjoyed the Insane Trilogy when they released it, and then of course the Spyro Trilogy was released by Toys for Bob. So those 2 companies, and Toys for Bob has already been support for Call of Duty as opposed to working on its own things. And now Vicarious Visions, who did Crash Bandicoot's Insane Trilogy, being swooped in by Activision Blizzard as well, is like, as much. I know that the releases for Insane Trilogy had their issues, but it was still overall a very well-loved re-release. And so was the Spyro Trilogy as well. Both of them were. And now there's fans out there that are like, man, maybe you'll get a chance to do a new Spyro or Crash game in the future. Maybe. if Activision will let you do it, or Crash deserved better. There's a bunch of different tweets that were posted about this that a lot of fans are not happy about it, and I can understand, because if they're going to support for like games like Overwatch and World of Warcraft, they're not going to be able to do their own stuff. There's just no way. They're not going to have enough team, they're not going to have enough time, they're not going to have enough money to do their own things. Maybe that's why they're trying to do it, I don't know, but they're not going to be able to. They're effectively killing their studio by just merging with Activision like this. My only hope is, like the article had talked about, is that Phil Spencer wants to revive the dormant franchises. My only hope is that when Microsoft does get the acquisition on Blizzard, Crash and Spyro get a chance to have new games or have a new team to start working on new games, and hope to revive the franchise, because there's still so many hardcore fans of both of those games that would love to see a new game from them, for sure. Be more pissed off when it comes out on mobile, yeah. And Little Trapper goes, I mean, I'm a huge Diablo fan, but not sure that's a wise move. And Vanilla says, money, why milk money? So
yeah, I mean, Crash Bandicoot had brought out the fourth one, like a brand new fourth game, which I absolutely loved about. Like, I thought it had the same concept of back in the old days of like the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it got a bit. I mean, I've not finished it off because I thought this was going to be absolutely epic. I need to get back into it, to be fair, to get myself finish it off, because they brought. I don't know if you've not heard of the fourth story of the Crash Bandicoot series. It was one of the villainous characters from, I think it was from episode. I think it was the third one, the time one. I think it was. So bloody vanilla. But yeah, just
I mean, if you're into bandicoots, I guess.
Always got like an eye popping out of his head in the original games too. So like, I guess if you're into Glenn after he meets Negan in The Walking Dead, maybe. But like,
I mean, no hate, no judgment, no kink judgment, no kink shame. I mean, seriously.
I don't know. I feel like tonight's gonna be like all the hot takes for me, right? Because I just say let them die, right? We don't need any more Spyro or Crash, and that's the thing. I love Spyro, but like they keep making everything they put out with their names on it worse. Like, right? They keep releasing like racing games and stuff like that instead of making like new mainstream titles, and they were all pretty like garbage. It's like the same thing with Sonic. Like, I love Sonic, but you could probably let him die at this point. I mean, like, when was the last time we actually got a good Sonic game? Maybe Generations, and the only reason Generations was good is because they had all of like the Sonic Adventure 2 levels that were like remastered and like the soundtracks put in. But if you're not counting that, then the last good one that sold a lot of copies was Adventure 2 Battle, and that was like 2000, maybe 2002 at the latest. Like, it was years ago at this point. We keep doing this thing where we keep bringing back like 90s era characters because we remember them from being so great when we were kids, but the games were just kind of garbage and they don't hold up anymore. Banjo-Kazooie, the same thing, nuts and bolts.
Oh,
you literally start the game as a fat bear. Who wanted to play as a fat bear? He couldn't do anything he did in the previous games because he got fat in between the time between Tooie and nuts and bolts.
Do you remember Conker?
Conker was like a weird one, right? Like, I love Conker because I like the South Park humor. And like Conker was just like Banjo and Kazooie, but for adults. It's literally what Conker's Bad Fur Day was.
It was great.
All it was.
The Bad Fur Day was one of the best.
Hilarious. It was so funny.
I played that on the Xbox with like Xbox Live too, like Conker's Bad Fur Day, because it was crazy the stuff you could do to that game when they re-released it on the original Xbox. That was insane.
I mean, if you still got the N64 cartridge, then you're in for the money. Stick.
Is it worth it? I think I've got it somewhere, honestly.
It's worth a lot of money now.
Yeah, because I think that was uncensored when it first came out, right? That was the big thing. Is like when it originally launched, it was uncensored.
Yeah. I think
Conker's Bad Fur Day really it was a niche that like was like what they were going for in the game was spot on. Like, they hit it on the nail what they were going for that game. Like, it was perfect. It was great. It was hilarious. It had the best adult humor. It was awesome. It was so good.
There was one game for the Nintendo that I thought was ahead of its time, and that was Gex, because that was pretty much like the Gecko was pretty much James Bond, and like I think his humor was like way too high for like, adults weren't really playing video games like that at the time, and like had that come out like now where we're all the same age, around that time, I think it would have done way better because it was just like a little sophisticated for its time, but it was funny.
That's what you need, especially during the times itself, and mad scenes, bloody hell, in that.
Trapper says Crash Bandicoot Remix Pocket Edition can see the money symbols of microtransactions already. Lol.
Oh yeah,
I
they'll let
mean,
you
it would
play
do
as
it. They
all
would
the
do
villains. Yeah, they'll let you play as the villains
Yeah.
for $3.99 a piece. You get to play as Crash's sister for like $6.
It'd be great.
There's gonna be a swimsuit edition that you can go and get for her too, and it'll be like $8.
Is that the $10 edition?
Yeah, pretty much.
$20.
Yeah.
It'll be like the summer special where you got to buy into their battle pass.
Welcome to the summer edition of the Crash Bandicoot.
Vanilla says, trouble is these franchises don't know what to do with their licenses. They can either rehash what they already made or try something new. The former guarantees revenue. The latter will always be a risk. And that's true.
You're not wrong, but if you look at it, right, I don't know if you guys are aware, the same studio that made Banjo-Kazooie made Yooka-Laylee, which is literally Banjo-Kazooie, but better because it was all modernized when they made it. So, like, there's just rehash it. You don't use the same character models. You don't need to make the same carbon copy game, but, like, it's there. They've proven that they can do it. Like, Rare, as much as they've released, like, some of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life when it comes to video games, they also, like, release bangers every now and again. And, like, Conker's Bad Fur Day and Banjo-Kazooie were, like, 2 prime examples of that.
Yeah.
They were
But like,
class.
if I see Sonic the Hedgehog kiss one more lady to bring him back from the dead, I'm gonna freak out because it's the weirdest thing for no reason. I don't know why that had to happen.
That would be your trigger.
Yeah, the homie die at that point. I don't know if you guys played Sonic 06, right? Because it's like known for being like the worst thing to ever happen to that franchise, and for a very good reason. But the game literally ends with him getting clapped, and then some chick just trying to make out with him to bring him back to life, and I'm just like, all right, stop, please.
I have not seen that happen, but
It's all right. I'll send it to you later, Malk. You'll be fine.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, Hedgehog's making out.
Yeah.
It's like a really bad fanfic,
Yeah. I have to wait and see what happens.
I can imagine that it would be.
Yeah. First of all, and let's talk about it, right? So, like, it's one of those games where, like, a developer who's had control of, like, a character for so long just put out a game that looked visually stunning, but, like, it was the worst thing I've ever played. And, there would be like a minute and a half loading screen for you to get into a boss fight that lasts 10 seconds, and then have another minute and a half loading screen, and then the game crash and send you back 6 hours. It was really bad with the way the whole game worked, and it was like a big game considering it was like early 360 days.
Vanilla says, Daddy, we're nerds, but we're not big enough nerds to play Sonic. You might not be. I used to play Sonic all the time.
That's what I'm saying. I still do. I was playing it the other day.
Yeah, he was. Trapper says, forward that to me, Milk.
Will do, mate. Will do. See how it goes. Personally, Activision Blizzard, so I've got 2 minds. One is, if they still haven't sorted out with Microsoft, I do not want to leave the Crash Bandicoot series like I did with Overwatch and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of worried that's going to go that way. And I really don't want to do that because I absolutely love Crash Bandicoot. And the second one is, obviously, when I do buy out from Microsoft, I just hope they don't. Okay, so I'll back it up because it's Microsoft taking over from Blizzard.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Microsoft's taking over from Blizzard. That I will accept. The first one, I absolutely will not accept, and they can fuck off, basically.
Well, if Microsoft takes over Blizzard, hopefully that they will look into possibly reviving the franchises, maybe putting something new out, maybe having them work on something special, that'd be good. Once the acquisition goes through. Cayenne says, hey, at work, just checking on y'all. All love. I hope your day's going well.
Hi, Toad. Toad's giving us a hydrate.
That's Toad. He's got to hydrate? Okay.
Yeah.
I've got to get my drink because I just finished my last drink, and now I got to open my new one. So I'm going to be a little bit behind on this hydrate, guys. Bear with me.
Yeah.
I still think we just let him die. Like,
Vanilla says, Sega Sonic, yes. Anything else, no. Just no.
Listen, if it's not, Team Sonic or, Sega Team, it's just not worth it. It really isn't. But, I don't know. Sonic Forces wasn't, like, god-awful. It was just, like, every, like, Sonic fanfic writer's wet dream, though, because, like, you just made your own Sonic character and stuck him in a campaign. So it was like, all right, cool. It's a fever dream for kids who just, didn't really ever get that chance. But there are some characters from the 90s that I think need like solid comebacks and like decent games. Like I would love a good Mega Man game with like not Mega Man, I'm sorry, Bomberman
Yeah.
game with like a story, because that man hasn't had like
Yeah.
an actual story since like the Nintendo 64. It's just been arcade games, and as much as those are fun, I mean, I don't even know like any of the lore behind like Bomberman, if there's any real lore, because the one time I tried to look into it, there was like a Doom Xbox original game came out, and it was called Bomberman, and I was like, that's as far as I got into that. And I was like, I'm not even trying to do this anymore. But like, let most of the 90 characters die at this point because they've all been used and abused. I don't think we need, and that's coming from the guy who watches like Dragon Ball from the 80s still. So like,
Dragon Ball, bloody hell, that's mad. To be fair, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I would love to see some of the old. You're right. I would love to see the iconic 90s. Imagine Duke Nukem come
he
out.
failed so
Yeah.
hard when he was when they made that 3D. I played that to 100% it on the 360, and it was probably the worst thing I've ever played.
Have you
Yeah.
ever played the one on the N64 one?
Yes, I played all the old ones. I love those, and they were fun. But I had to play the new one when it came out, and it was bad. It was like the same humor.
Okay, so ignore that last one, the Xbox. Would you ever like to see him come back for a brand new story or new origins of him
certainly.
coming back?
Well, that was like Serious Sam has pretty much the same thing, right? It's like Doom, but like less vulgar, I guess, is really the only difference between Serious Sam and like Duke Nukem. And like, I would love more Serious Sam also, because those games are fun.
Vanilla says, I want a new 2D Castlevania. That would be cool. A new Castlevania scroller. That'd be pretty awesome. And Vanilla says, look, Dragon Ball from the 80s is everything.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I like Super, but like, man, Dragon Ball Z is always going to be like my go-to. It doesn't matter what anime comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just the way it is.
Just how you roll, like the money rolls.
Well, it'll be like one of those things,
you
right?
see all of his little trinkets back there, right?
I mean,
see all those.
And the tattoo as well is just
and the tattoo.
I did not know that, mate. I did not know that at all.
Yeah, it's Planet Vegeta's thing going on.
Yeah,
real throwback. You see it like twice in the show.
I know you mentioned also Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
There was who's it? There was another one that came out recently. They tried to bring out the finished part. I think it was Seamus. Is it Seamus?
Yeah.
Oh,
Metroid. Yeah.
Metroid.
There was a recent
that game
Metroid.
was unbearable. It was so hard. I'm not even gonna lie. That game was hard for no reason. It was fun because I think we really needed a good Metroidvania game, because that's back to what Vanilla was saying. We need more of those. What is it? Symphony of the Night, I think, was like on the 360, and that was like 8-player co-op as a Castlevania game, and that was phenomenal because you could unlock different characters through microtransactions or just playing the game, and it was real fun.
No lie. Sorry.
Vanilla says, I want a gritty Sin City mystery scroller to play. You said stroller. Scroller, corrected.
Stroller.
A mystery stroller.
A mystery stroller, Sin City itself. Mad.
Whose stroller is this today?
There's a lot of things.
It's the shopping trolley.
Oh, certainly. I think there's a lot of games we could get to like come out to like replace this like use and abuse of like wanting like older ones. Like, we haven't really had a good like cyberpunk themed like almost like Assassin's Creed type game, which I think would be fun. I mean, we kind of have oh man, what's it called? It just had a new one come out like last year or the year before.
Valhalla?
No, not Assassin's Creed, but
I thought you meant Assassin's Creed. I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to think. Was it Watch Dogs? There you go.
Watch Dogs.
Like, that's all dystopian with like tech and stuff, but I want like a real nitty gritty like cyberpunk, like not cyberpunk as in like the game, but like cyberpunk as in like the art style with the neon lights and like the gritty like cityscape type. Even like Assassin's
You never
Creed
know.
game
Watch Dogs in cyberpunk. I need to say cyberpunk.
Listen, you've been making fun of her too much. Now you're gonna keep doing it. You set yourself up.
Yeah, this is apparently, guys, is the episode where none of us can talk. Apparently.
Yeah.
None of us can.
None of us can talk at all. Yeah, I've lost my words now. Yeah, I was going to say Turok. Remember Turok?
I love Turok. Big fan.
Yep.
I would love to see that. I absolutely loved it when they did this first two. I think it was the first two games on 64, but they got worse as they progressed. But there was one. Do you remember Dino Crisis?
I used to play those arcade games at like Dave and Buster's.
I do
stuff
remember
like
Dino
that.
Crisis.
Yeah.
I actually do remember Dino Crisis. Yeah.
I think they did 2. If I remember it right. No, they did the first one, but I can't remember if they did the second one.
That I can't answer.
Yeah.
A new
but yeah,
Tomba, Vanilla says.
I don't even know what Tomba is.
I wanted to play Tomba. Like, I remember that demo, and I never actually like got it.
It was like
I
Toe
wanted to
Jam and
play
Earl
it.
for me. Like I played the Sega Genesis one, but there was one that came out on the original Xbox, and before the original Halo Combat Evolved came out, there was like a demo disc. It had like Forza on it, had Toe Jam and Earl, and it had Halo. And I played that Toe Jam
Yeah.
and Earl demo like 1,000 times with my siblings.
Really?
But I never picked up the game, and they keep remastering like Toe Jam and Earl, or like at least re-releasing the original ports on like different consoles, and I still never go pick it up. It's just, I could, but I don't know why I never did.
No way. No way. That's mad, to be fair. But yeah, we're just gonna. We feel like we just want to talk about all the classic
We
games
talk
that
about all
should have
kinds
been
of classic
released.
Oh, yes.
games. We can
Back to what I was
save
saying,
this
kill 'em
for
all.
our discussion.
Yeah,
Kill
We
them
can
all.
save
That's it.
we can save this for our free discussion. So
yeah, absolutely.
Crash Bandicoot started it.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot, loved it back in the day. Joining with the Arch
Oddworld,
Nemesis,
Scrapper says.
Strangers.
Yep.
Stranger's
Oddworld.
Wrath.
Yeah, Oddworld, Abe, class. That was.
Abe.
Yeah, class. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot, absolutely loved it, and I hope that well before seeing this article, I wish they did made more stories. And again, it was kind of like the same as what I was mentioning about earlier on. That they should not just let it go, stop, just do like this like the Crash Bandicoot team, like the team racing that they did.
Hopefully, Microsoft will revive it or do something to bring
I
something up
hope.
about it. That'd be great.
I hope, but
he's like, no.
Let sleeping dogs lie. It came out. Listen, it had a good fourth game. The trilogy when they re-released it was good. Just let it die.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
gonna end up with Sonic making out with like a bunch of women, and it's just gonna be the way it goes, man. I'm sorry, Crash is just gonna start making out with like a villain. Sorry, we'll come to it.
Yeah.
There'll be some sexy Bandicoot female
Listen,
that's
I
not his
also
sister.
found out for the first time too that there's like a whole fanfic where Spyro's a bottom to all the other dragons. So like that happened and ruined Spyro for me. So just let Crash go out while he's on top.
Cool. Have to wait and see what happens. But personally, I just hope Blizzard don't fuck it up. I just hope that I'll only accept the games from them as long as they overtake, as long as they got, bought out by Microsoft. That's all I'm going to do. It's the same because I haven't played Overwatch or Call of Duty. So.
Listen, DeviantArt ruined me, but I'm just saying it's different when I go to DeviantArt because I expect it. It's a whole other thing when you're playing like a licensed Sega game and Sonic's getting like loved on by a chick while he's dead. That's a whole other thing. But I have a question for you, Malk.
Okay.
Would you rather them not make another Crash game, or make another Crash game that was done pretty much by Blizzard, with like almost no interference from anybody else? Because I know how much you dislike Blizzard, but I also know how much you like Crash.
That's a really good question, actually. I would not buy the game if it's from Blizzard solely from Blizzard.
Okay.
Again, it's like all the different companies. Like, I don't know if any of the other companies have had the same problems what Blizzard had shown publicly, but I only see it if it's played out perfectly, and if it was done by another creator, as long as it's not EA or any other or Dice or Activision.
No EA, no Activision.
It's not half the big developers. I'm okay with
that.
No,
yeah, that's what. As long as Vicarious Visions, it was an unknown company, but they remade the whole game itself. They've redone the whole engine, and they've mastered it perfectly. Yes, there was some that from the PS1 you could not do. Like, I could not complete the PS1 version because I couldn't get the gems, because you had to do the bonus levels at the first time of asking. In the Vicarious Vision mode, you could do as many back. I remember one level where it pissed me off so much on Crash Bandicoot, the first one, There's so much in the bonus level. You have to go on the boxes. You have to get rid of all the boxes. There's one. There was like, do you remember the bouncy boxes? There was like 2 lots.
I remember those.
There was about 5 or 6 in a row, and you have to try and time it to get onto the other end. And every time when I get to the last box, I fall off. And
that was tough. That was a tough part of the level.
But the Vicarious version lets you do that again, not let you lose your boxes. Whereas the PS1 version, you had no choice. You either do it first time of asking, or you've had enough, or that's it. You have to do the whole over again. And that would piss people off. That's how they would buy the game. And that's how they bought out the perfect way of trying to complete the game. Because I don't know if anyone's ever done it as such, but if they did, they probably sweated out like no man's business itself. But going back to your question, sorry, Senpai, I'm only buy the game if it's bought out by Microsoft, I'll buy it. If it's not, and it's just purely Blizzard by itself, no, I wouldn't buy it. And I would stick to my word for that. Okay. And you can hear it me recorded. To be fair,
we have video proof, guys. Clip this
tomorrow when they announce, Crash, with only Blizzard's name on it. I don't want to hear a single thing from Malk when it comes out. What I'll do too is I won't ever stream a single thing. I will wait for that Crash game to come out, and then I'll stream it, and I'll hype up how good it is just for you.
Yeah. Anywho, let's go straight to the next article itself.
Last article for the day, guys. We have 4 articles because they were all very short today.
So after my rampage of Crash Bandicoot, a little bit calmer now. Well, I'm not, but I'm a little bit calmer now. So apparently, new Game Pass game has rave reviews, and this is from an article from Game Rant. Ironically, after Straight mentioned about the rants itself. The new day one point-and-click adventure, Norco, is that how you pronounce it? Right, Norco, has been receiving great reviews since its launch. The game is currently sitting with a 91 average critic rating. Bloody hell. That's insane. Making it the second highest rated new game release of 2022. Norco is second only to From Software's Elden. Well, you know what's going to happen from Elden Ring. It's going to be the number 1, isn't it? The game is available on PC Game Pass and has impressed critics with its story, atmosphere, and emerging gameplay for the genre. That's how you pronounce it. Personally, I've not heard of the game before, so I can't really mention about it. But
it's a point-and-click adventure, and I'm surprised that it's as highly rated as it is for a point-and-click genre. Like, I was like, okay, because it's like, this is interesting, because, I mean, it's something that's been covered a couple times, and I was like, well, I'll go ahead and cover it, because, I mean, it's actually, I guess it's surprising people that a point-and-click game has as high a rating as it does, but it's been rated across the board from Game Informer, from PC Gamer, from Hardcore Gamer. So many different critic companies have rated it highly for the atmosphere, the feel, the story of it, the engagement of the play, the engagement of the gameplay for the genre. It's been highly rated across the board, and I think it's kind of taken people by surprise since it's a point and click.
I think, when was the last time we've had a point-and-click game that was so highly rated? Like
I don't know.
Freddy Fish from the 90s.
Freddy
Really?
Fish, yeah.
No, there's actually quite a few. I don't remember the name. It was like almost like a pirate-themed one. It was like really popular. There were a few of them. It was never a genre I really played, right? I played like Freddy Fish, and there was like a Blue's Clues game in like the 90s when computers were like, baby. I was a child, but that immediately kind of went out the window when, first-person shooters and military-based games started coming out, and then I was just Ratchet yelling at kids online.
Yeah. Aw, cute senpai. Yeah. Ledge.
But no, yeah,
yeah.
the genre's got like quite a. It's weird too because there's like a lot of like more mature rated games. I think like Leisure Suit Larry is like
Leisure
a point
Suit.
and click game. Yeah.
See, now you've got my words mixed up now. I meant to say
Yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry. That's what
But
you were
yes,
trying to say.
yeah, he's. I
Something's
think
in
those
the
are point
water,
and click.
guys. Something's in the water.
It's the claw. You know, it's law. But
It's the claw.
I think those were point and click games for a while. I think his most recent one isn't because I know he just recently had another release for that. But even that might be point and click, and like the genre is still there. It's got quite a few games that come out annually for it, but you never hear anything about it because it's not Call of Duty or Fortnite, I guess, at this point.
Which is why it was surprising to me that when I looked up gaming news, this was on at least 3 or 4 different reports when I looked up the gaming news today, because I guess it's surprising people. They're like, oh my gosh, a point and click is getting like a 91% critic rating. That's crazy. It's only second to Elden Ring, which is insane.
I don't even think it's like just a point and click thing as far as that's concerned, right? Like think of it this way. Any genre, like indie games in general, it's just they don't ever see the limelight. Like, you know how Microsoft used to like do their big thing on the Game Pass, where they always like showed an indie game, where they were like highlighting it back on like the 360. They had like a whole page about the developer.
Yeah.
Stuff like that doesn't happen anymore. So like Among Us was out for like 2 or 3 years before like it popped off, and then like a streamer discovered Among Us and then played that with their friends, and that was all it took, because the limelight's been on Call of Duty for so long, and like, you know, other battle royales that like
True.
now that people are starting to like remember other genres are out there, it's nice seeing stuff like that pop up. And like you said, it's coming as a surprise because nobody's like aware of it. But I think if people actually take the time to like navigate like through the Steam page and get off the AAA blockbusters that are all coming out, there's a lot of hidden gems that are there.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it's really weird. Don't get me wrong. Like, stay away from the dark part of Steam because you'll never come back. But like, there's still some good stuff that's there.
Vanilla's Clock Tower, best horror clicky.
There you go. See, I mean, like, they're out there. I don't play many of them, but there's certainly quite a few point and click games that have gotten really good ratings.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, to get 91, I mean, fair freaking play.
That's crazy.
I mean, how long were they out though? Trans?
It's only been out since it's only been out for let me see, I'll find out for you. It hasn't been out long. Give me 1 second.
That's
I mean,
fine.
Vanilla, you're like the dark part of the internet. I wouldn't just stop at Steam, right? You're like the weird sexual part of the dark web. It happens, you know. There's always that one guy.
It's
normally
just
me,
that,
so.
just that one guy.
Well, you know what happens is in our friend groups, right? There's always just that one guy, but then we have like a collective, like we have our own Discord that you don't want to be a part of, because like normal people will freak out when they see what goes on in there when the whole thing's like, you know, NSFW. And
Day one for the game. Yeah. Day one for the game was March 25th, so it's been out for just over a couple weeks.
That's
getting there.
Yeah. The way it sounded, I thought it sounded like it was going to be a bit longer.
Well, it just got added onto the Game Pass.
Got it. Okay.
Well, it's only been out for 2 to 3 weeks, but it's been rated highly the whole time.
I might be wrong, but wasn't the first Banner Saga game like almost point and click, or was it just interactive? More so, because I think it was in like the Banner Saga games, like the whole trilogy's on the Game Pass, and that's got like a 9.6 rating still, like years down the road.
So, yeah,
I don't know. To be honest, I'll probably have to have a look at that as well.
I might be wrong with the genre it is anyway. Who knows? But I see it all the time, and it looks like a point and click game. But who knows?
You've been wrong. It's not a point and click game. It's something else. It's a lot of games. It's using the controller.
Vanilla, you're the dark part of the internet.
That's what I told him. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I was like, no, he is the dark web.
He's the guy. He is the one guy.
Yes, he is. He is calling you the dark part of the internet. Yes.
How am I the Tiger King? Where did that come from?
Tiger King? Tiger King? Where's that come from?
Yeah.
I think it's leopard print. I think it's leopard print.
It is leopard print.
What? Leopard King? It's a Tiger King.
Tiger King rolls off the tongue, though.
I like it.
Well, we've heard days with that, to be fair. Yeah, mad, to be fair. Vanilla Ledge. But yeah, I'm glad something that we've all been playing on like for all the many years like back in the old days when you did a lot of point and click adventure games. I can't remember one. There was like one that was like back in the old PC games.
Freddy Fish.
Freddy Fish. Well,
yeah, the mystery of the conch or whatever it was, right? Where you like had to find the conch shell and it like randomly generated who had it like every other time you loaded the game. And I was like, oh
yeah.
My pea-sized brain couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, there was loads. I can't remember from the top of my head, but
be hating on yourself.
Yeah,
I was talking to Senpai.
Oh.
Kick the desk.
Yeah,
nice.
You kick the desk.
Nicely done.
I got no desk. But yeah, mad to be fair. So, I believe that unless there's any more from you guys about the Game Pass of that game of the point and click adventure of Norco.
That's it.
That's it.
That should be all of it.
That should be all of the first segment, which is the PC console news.
Yeah.
Nice. I can't believe it went from calm to shit house and then back to calm itself. So should be good stuff as well. What we're going to do next is segment 2, which is going to be a brief moment of the main discussion and then straight in to the free-form discussion. So this
Vanilla says, I'm really disappointed the mobile game system became a microtransaction hellhole rather than an indie developer paradise. That's a very good point, Vanilla. It would only be that until people make a change.
Nobody's going to make a change. And like I said, as much as I love them, Bethesda's the reason we're like this. Don't ever forget. Like, don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because Bethesda and the horse armor, we are screwed and doomed to microtransactions. And I'm part of the reason why. I'm the problem. I buy them all. It's a hit. Oh, you mean this horse armor is accidentally a different? It's amethyst and not ruby or sapphire. Shit. All right, here's $6.
Gotta get one in each color.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch out for Senpai.
I'm bad. I'm the reason. Oh, you know what gets me real good? Gotcha things in like video games, like Smite, for example, when they have all the like loot boxes for you to open up. Overwatch is bad too. I'm like.
Yeah.
I think the worst when I started getting like adult money was when Mass Effect 3's multiplayer was taken off and they had like the boxes where you could get the characters and you needed to get multiple copies of the same character to unlock like the different customizations for them. But like if you got the one character, it was like, oh hey, you got the base model, you can change the primary color, and then it would be like the second time you got them, it's like here's like 10,000 experience towards the class, and then here's like. Yeah, like you can change like the color of the tips of your gloves, and I'd be like, all right, well, I gotta have that. So like, shut up, and here's like $600 worth of loot boxes to not get the character because it was bad, man. It was just all my money wouldn't do it.
Vanilla says the Sims started expansion packs for a table and some chairs. You're not wrong. EA is like
the culprit.
That's classic.
To be fair. Hold on. To be fair, that started with The Sims 3, right? Because like The Sims 2 had like the big expansions with The Sims 1.
Yeah.
But like I don't know when Elder Scrolls of Oblivion came out, because Oblivion's the culprit with the fucking horse armor that was like 69 cents, and then like millions of people bought the horse armor, and they're like, you know what, we can make money out of this. And then I think Oblivion ended its lifespan with like, if you look it up, it's like 18 or 19 microtransactions for like the first big like AAA game to have them. And I was like, that's a ludicrous amount of microtransactions, because there was like the actual 4 DLCs, and then there was like, oh hey, you want to live in like a literal cave that looks like you murdered somebody in the back? Yeah, hey, $6.
That's
like,
mad.
Give me that fucking cave. I'm living in that. That was me. It doesn't even need to look good. And then like you go and you play like Elder Scrolls Online. Like MMOs are known for microtransactions, right? That's why we play some of them. We love like the skimpy armor or like the houses and stuff that you can buy. Elder Scrolls Online was like, hey, you want double experience for 25 minutes? $8. And I was like, we're in this together, man.
And then you buy more, and you buy more, and then you realise your bank card just gets...
Vanilla Sims does still let the community do mods. There are people out there that create things with the Sims creator. You can find them for Sims 4, Sims 3, Sims 2. They still have them. But yes, I know where you're coming from.
Technically, right? Bethesda does that too, and then they have the audacity to have the creation club, they call it, where it's like official mods that are there. And I'm like, you're charging me $18 for like the Dovahkiin helmet in Fallout 4? Like, no, we're not doing this. I mean, I bought it, but like, we're not doing this. Get out of here.
You have to have a Dovahkiin helmet in Fallout 4. Just saying.
Bethesda walked so EA could run, or Bethesda crawled so EA could run. That's what it was, because Bethesda was like, yeah, we'll start it for you, and then EA is like, you don't
Bethesda
actually
walks. Bethesda
We're gonna keep
walks,
at
but not
this.
Bethesda crawls. But EA walks. That is class. We have to put that as the slogan for the next episode.
That's
For this
what it was,
episode
though,
title.
right? Because now you
Yeah.
can't get an EA game without needing to spend $80 to even finish the game. So it's just like,
It's
okay,
true.
well.
The worst one, and I know you guys are not big sport. I don't know if you are big sports fans itself, but I love F1, and EA bought out Codemasters. If you love the Codemasters company, they bought out Codemasters recently, and guess what? They started doing the microtransactions in more depth as well, and it was like different. Yeah. Oh, well, Trans missed that completely. But basically, it was like there was like different skins for the cars with different suits, and I'm like,
suits for the driver, or like
suits for the driver. You could get your own custom badges. Code CODE vanilla. Before you say, yeah.
Vanilla, you and I, we're gonna link up after this. We're gonna work on a project, you and me. It'll be exactly what Malk thinks it is. It's not gonna be good, or for the faint of heart.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing
It's just
this
you
to
and me here now, right? And Trance was like, we need to, if he wanted to be a staple, you gotta get ready. Ooh, oh no, I spilled my claw on everything. Oh no. All over the mouse.
That sounded so wrong. We're sorry for anyone listening on the audio itself. That sounded so wrong. He has spilled drink. He has spilled drink over the mouse.
We're just gonna fold the mouse pad up and get rid of it real quick, because it is covered in White Claw. We're just gonna.
Okay, the phrasing needs to the phrasing. Ledge. God. But yeah, back to the F1. They had like their own skins and like custom models of the skins itself, and bloody hell, vanilla.
It's throwing you off your game, Malk.
No, I don't know what you're on about, mate.
So really, the Formula One game's that bad with microtransactions?
Well, it's because of everything going on and such. And it's like you have to pay for the new skins as well, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. And Trans missed out completely what happened.
For the record,
she can find
guys,
out when she goes.
I'll rewatch it later.
Yeah.
No big deal. For the record, guys, microtransactions are not what we're discussing today. This is just the extension from the news.
Yeah. It was just knock-on effect.
But from what I heard, Malk, is you just need to switch to playing Forza, because I'm pretty sure all that stuff's just built into the game, and you can just fully customize everything. So as much as you like Formula One, you might need to take the L and go play Forza.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, it's just because I do commentary and stuff, and I do that on the F1 games with other leagues as well. So that's why I've used that, basically, to be fair. So... But I do agree, microtransactions is a pain in the arse, especially when you want that skin and you can't afford. You haven't got the time to play it. You're working, or Okay, here's a question for you actually. Before we start the main discussion, have you ever had a problem where you've been grinding the game in, not in a weird phrasing way, but like playing the game? No, not like that. But like playing the game fully, like to get all the items that you wanted for a story mode, or like Skyrim or something like that, basically.
Yeah.
But then,
go ahead.
Sorry.
Your question. Go ahead.
No. But then you got like other players like who haven't got the time, and they buy out this microtransaction just to get all the items that they need just to complete the level itself. Do you think that's fair as well?
I mean,
nope.
It's pay to win, right? In that sense, that like if it's just cosmetics, I don't care, right? It's whatever, if I have to grind out, usually what happens too, and in my experience is like I can grind most of the way through something very fast because what happens is on my days off I can really invest time into it, and then when I'm like working actively I'll go to bed like randomly. It doesn't matter what time. So my days
Okay.
off I'll grind, and then I'll get to the point where like there's a week left in like the battle pass, a week left in the event or whatever, and then I'll pay the way to the rest of it because like I did half the work, 2/3 of the work, but sometimes you can't always get there, and if it's just cosmetics I don't
Yeah.
really care. When it comes to like actual pay to win things like in freemium games, it's obnoxious, right? It is just infuriating. Like I know when I have a brother-in-law who wanted me to play like was it Clash Royale with him, right? That's like the deck building Clash of Clans type thing where
Oh,
it's like
okay.
there was like the 2v2 game mode and he wanted me to play, but like I didn't want to put money into the game, and like playing with somebody else who put money into the game, it pairs you with people who put money into the game, and you can't
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
You're never gonna win. It's just not gonna happen.
But
But
It's like Warzone though. Like I had that problem playing Warzone with my friends. I couldn't get specific blueprints for certain guns that would be better for me for my gameplay, so I had to get the ones that I could earn. But people would pay for the packs and get the blueprints for that gun, and then like just lay your ass out, and you're like, why am I even here? That makes no sense.
well,
It really is frustrating.
I get that too, but I think most of the blueprints are just like like already attachments that are in the game. It's just they give it to you all at once with like a unique skin. Typically, is what the blueprints do. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how that works. But I mean, I'm also a damn troll, so I have a rocket launcher and everything. It doesn't matter what you're shooting me with. If I hit you with a rocket, you're dead. So like, I win, you
Good
lose.
point.
All right, I have a riot shield too. You're not shooting through that. Have fun.
what they should have done, it just clicked as well. Buy a game. So you got. Do you remember when Call of Duty made those two games merge as one? For example, I think it was the shittiest idea that they've ever done. To be fair, but imagine one sole game, but two modes. One, no microtransactions, and one where you play with with the microtransactions. So you've got two options. So one, you can grind to play from the start, and you don't have to mess about with it. And there's another one where if you haven't got the time, you buy. If you use any of the microtransactions, tough, you will go directly to that, even though someone's been, you know. It's basically two modes: one with and one without the microtransactions, and see. I mean, what's your thought of that? That's how I mean that would work out to make it fair. I think if you wanted to work a lot by
if
yourself.
you if you had if you had a lobby that based off of people who had spent money in the game and a lobby for people who had not spent money in the game, it would make it hard for those people like Dyson I was talking about who have friends who have put money in a game to join with their friends who have not put money into a game. That's what we were just talking about. What he was saying.
Yeah,
If you had a split mode, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, it would be great. And lobby goes by your, I guess win rate or whatever. Anyway, so usually for those type of games, but if you were playing with a friend who had put money in the game and you yourself had not put money in the game, you would probably still go into their lobby. So it really doesn't make a difference if you're playing with your
but
friends.
that one with the microtransactions is you can do it with or without, like separately. It's the one where you got like a
Mhm.
separate mode where there's no microtransactions, and you
Oh, like a
start off
separate
on
game mode? Yeah, that'd be
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of cool.
So that will be solely that, and you don't buy anything. You only buy when you earn your rights through the like the prestige,
Yeah.
like you normally do, and that's what it should be doing as well. That's my opinion anyway. But I mean, I could be talking down for days as well. But it's just more to do with it should be two modes. Should be two
Vanilla.
modes.
I don't know. I'm a troll, so I'm always fine with being put against the odds because like I'm teabagging you as soon as I win. It's as simple as that. Like I'm never
You're
gonna
an
not be a troll.
underdog. You're an
Well, that's my
underdog.
thing. I don't
Totally.
know. And then like I'm also a firm believer of like like I like the store system in a lot of games. Like microtransactions suck, but like for some cosmetics, I don't mind it. Like it gets old and tiresome some fast when things get vaulted as early as they do. Like for example,
Hmm.
when Fortnite came out, I bought it for the campaign before the battle royale was even gonna be
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
before the battle royale was even announced. I bought like the 100 and it was like $14 after tax. It
Vanilla.
was like the best version, and it gave me a bunch of like free V-Bucks and stuff like that to use when the multiplayer came out. It was like something they kind of threw in. So I bought this skin called like Renegade Raider on like Fortnite, right? And it got like
Mhm.
as soon as that season was done, that was it. The skin was gone, never again seen. So there's nobody that you'll see that has the skin because I wear it when I play because I rarely play Fortnite. But when I do, I throw that in, or I throw like DJ whatever the hell her name is. She's got a big ass llama head, and I put a disco ball on her back, so I'm the biggest target because I got to be extra. I use one of the two of them, but every time I play Renegade Raider, man, I get targeted, and it's the funniest thing because I'm just me. I'm not like a sweat. I haven't been playing since season 1. I put the game down for like 2 years, and then pick it back up to play with like my little brother, and then all of a sudden I get curb stomped because I got a spiky helmet, and I look like I belong in like Mad Max's, semi.
Lol.
I don't. There's some things that make it fun, right? Like like that type of thing's fine. But like I get the blueprint thing upsetting you, especially if you don't play Warzone enough. But if you play like Warzone at least a little bit, or at least even regular Call of Duty, because the progress carries over, then like I don't know.
Well, it does open up the attachments that you would normally get in the game, but they open it up sooner for you by having that blueprint.
Which is
So.
fine, right? Because for the most part, I think as Warzone goes on, after you hit that first prestige, it doesn't matter anymore, right? It's just people take whatever gun that is popular at the time and then cream through like 8 prestiges in like a week.
Yay, meta!
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the big issue, is the way the meta changes with the game, more so than I think it's microtransactions in Call of Duty's point. Although, like, I got, cat girl, helmet, so like that's fine. I'm chilling with that.
Totally.
Lol.
It's not a Capri Sun, Vanilla. I promise you, it's not a Capri Sun. I wish it was a Capri Sun, but it is not.
Well.
And yes, he has a rocket launcher. You can take that as you will. I figured you wouldn't argue if I said that.
It's not.
I was gonna make a comment, but I stopped myself. I was like, rocket launcher, third leg, whatever you want to call it, it's there.
What comments?
Oh, he just said it. You missed it. You just missed
right
it.
over Mal's head.
He did not hear it.
Shit.
Sorry, make him go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again.
If I gotta watch the section you guys are talking about, you gotta watch that section too.
I'll be like, oh fuck.
I should be back.
I mentioned that. Right, so this is and Trans is gone. So the main discussion topic, which I'm hoping Trans will come back on, it says ads in free-to-play games. How do we feel about this? So there's a reference article that's from IGN. It says some Xbox games could soon have more outs. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. So some points from the article from what Trans put on. She put original coverage was by Business Insider. The program is set to supposedly launch by third quarter of this year. Ads should be something like a billboard in a racing game. Microsoft doesn't care for because of the profits. They hope to have the revenue shared between the game dev and respective company. Ads in games is not a new concept. So, personally, it's like you have ads for like listening to music if you haven't got the premium. It's like the microtransactions moment again. Like before you buy this, we'll give you an ad, and then if you want to stop hearing this ad, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, and it's really annoying personally. But I know why they've done it like that, because some companies, they haven't got the money or the revenue, and what they're trying to do is making it straight to the point. Aren't they?
Well, if you look at the article points of talking for the main discussion, Microsoft doesn't want to take a cut of the profits. This is going to be the profits are going to be split between the game developers and the respective company that are doing the ads.
I think it needs to be like it is in movies, right? Just ad placement. Like if it's a billboard, it's like let's say you're playing like a horror game or like a zombie survival game, and like you're kind of just trekking through like a movie theater or something, and it's just kind of got something running on a loop on like one of the screens. Make that an ad, because it's not like it's something that's like actually affecting the gameplay, but subliminally, everybody's seeing it. Oh hey, like there's a cutscene, but there's a can of Coke rolling across the floor or something like that, and just there's ways for them to like subtly place ads or subtly place like the product inside a game. It doesn't always need to be something like Grand Theft Auto, which came up with what they assumed was clever, but it's just really bad puns for the names of half their stuff. Or Saints Row does the same thing too. Although I think Saints Row just kind of took it above and beyond, didn't even try to make it a pun anymore. They think they called like the burger place Freckle Bitches or something like that instead of Wendy's. It was just like they just went to it, but I think like subtle ad placement in certain games wouldn't be bad, especially when developers are trying to go for that realistic approach. And what it would really do is help those developers get a bigger budget in the long run, because then the ad companies would be paying for their their product to be put into the game, and I think that helps. It would stop all the cancellations we've been seeing lately.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think I just hope that they've would help massively, but it can be annoying a few times when the ads comes up now and again. That's how I see it anyway, because it's like if they place it perfectly, like a billboard or anything like that's related to the game itself, fair enough. No arguments at all, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not saying I want to play Halo and then all of a sudden there's like a Pepsi billboard in the middle of like space and I'm chilling. I'm just like, all right, well, I guess.
That would
The
be
Master
epic.
Chief's gonna take his helmet off for the first time in 24 years just to be like, hey, I got a Coke. Let's do it.
That would be epic.
See, out of this world taste. That's the perfect slogan for a Halo.
Like, but I mean, even Fidella made a good point. Like, he's not wrong. They're going to take it too far, but if it gets some of those games off the ground that would otherwise be canceled, I mean, I'm okay with it. That's my big reasoning behind it, because how many games have we like all been super hyped for over the last like maybe decade that have gotten canceled? I know like Scalebound or whatever it was like that big dragon RPG that everybody was so hyped for because it had like co-op, and that got canceled before it got off the ground.
Yeah,
and that's just like a prime example.
There was another one I can't
Fable
remember now.
also, like Fable 4 got caught. I mean, now apparently the Forza guys are making that, but they've been doing that for like 2 years and we've heard nothing about that. So that's
I love
weird.
Fable.
It's because of the Forza stuff, isn't it? And they've been it's like I've been waiting for. I love, as I said, I love my sports. I love the boxing, and I've been waiting for a boxing game for over 10 years now, like 12 years now. Last boxing game I've had was the Fight Night Champion, which was ironically EA Sports. So it was just there was no game after that. There've been talks of one game that's coming out soon, which is so hyped up, and I just hope that they've made it perfect. The graphics look amazing. Again, I just hope they don't fucking balls this up. This new one coming out soon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and looking at what Vanilla said too, it's just kind of like this stuff isn't regulated until it is regulated, right? Because now loot box games, they're all like rated M essentially. You have to be 18 and older to play like anything with a loot box in it in some countries. Or the game just is taken off the market because of gambling addictions. It's like an actual thing where like people just can't stop putting all their money into the loot boxes to get things, and they count it as gambling.
Yeah.
If it ever got bad enough, eventually there would be laws. And I mean, like, I'm okay with it getting to that point, because we're at that point with microtransactions now, right? Like, how much worse does it have to get before somebody steps in and says something? I think From Software, did a phenomenal job when it came to Elden Ring and the whole microtransaction thing, because they released a completely full game, and then the first big thing they did when it was launched was bug fixes and new content for free.
Yeah.
So like as more games start doing it, and I believe they did that with Code Vein too. Like I don't think it was technically a free update. I think it was technically DLC, but it was still free DLC that like fixed a bunch of things and like added a little bit more content when Code Vein came out. And for those of you who don't know, it was anime Dark Souls. So just jiggle physics in a Dark Souls game is really all it was. It was about the only difference, because it played exactly the same as Dark Souls. But yeah, they had like a free update at some point. I think it was through DLC that just kind of fixed it. Like that's a company that gets it right. Eventually you'll start seeing indie developers that start popping off will probably do the same thing, where like their content will come out with free updates or like a DLC pack that's like free to fix certain things because they don't know how to push it through as an update. I mean, it'll eventually get there.
Well, that's what it should be. It's like the problem is you got some companies that like you got the fans who've paid so much money for a game. They want to see a good game. Yes, there'll be bugs. Yes, you're not going to get a complete game. I mean, when was the last time you've had a complete game that's had no bugs at all in a particular game that you've absolutely enjoyed when you could not update the game itself? I remember like PS1s. I don't know how PS1.
It's gonna be like really skewed for. I think Cuphead.
Really?
I don't think Cuphead had any real big bugs when that came out. I loved it. I played the shit out of Cuphead. 100% of that as soon as I could. Yeah. I mean, it was an indie game, right? It was an arcade game, but I mean, it was still Cuphead, and it was big enough.
But that's what I mean. It's like a game where you've had no issues, and then you play a game and you enjoy the amount of money that you paid for that game at the time. But you got other companies who absolutely love like try. Here you go. Do you want another Crash Bandicoot? Do you want another Fable? Do you want another Kingdom Hearts? Kingdom Hearts game. But we cannot guarantee you to have any bug fixes until we see any of the issues from you guys as well at the same time.
Vanilla, I think you're cupping the wrong thing there, buddy.
Bloody hell, Vanilla. Bloody hell.
But I mean, you're not wrong. There's a lot of things come out and they're not all right, but that also doesn't make them bad games, right? And again, I think both times I've been on here now, I brought it up, but like 76, buggy. I mean, it's a Bethesda game, bro. Bethesda hasn't launched a game that's not been awful as far as bugs go ever. And that doesn't mean any of their games have been bad. Fallout 3 was like an instant cult classic, and Fallout 3 is like the worst performing game that Bethesda ever launched, right? And then 76 was just as buggy. I had an issue where I was streaming like a Fallout 4 playthrough on the hardest difficulty when they released that difficulty for survival, essentially, when it had that update. And I walked into a car and died. Nobody shot the car. There's no explosion. I deadass walked into it, crumbled, and had to start the game over from like 6 hours beforehand. And like, I still love those games and think they're great. I think realistically it's all in like the presentation, and like if you see that they're trying to fix it and like things are coming down the road, it's fine. But if your game is literally all microtransactions and garbage and the ending has to be fixed, Mass Effect 3 by like other DLC, then like that's when I think people have a problem with it. But going into it with like launching it with bugs, I don't think it's always a bad thing, because there's no way to stress something until like the full population plays it. Except
to be fair, as on top of that, Bethesda also, knows that the community appreciates the bugs. How many bugs did we have in Skyrim that people loved doing the bugs and the glitches in?
The first time I played Skyrim, everybody knows the opening cinematic of Skyrim by this point. Malcolm, I'm sure you're familiar with it, right? You wake up, hey, you're finally awake, horse going through the gates of Helgen. That gate didn't open for me the first time I launched Skyrim. The horse walked into the gate, shot 400 feet into the sky, and just twirled around for like 20 minutes until I finally restarted the game. That was the first thing that happened to me. And then I reloaded from like the checkpoint, which was that same character, just waking up on the carriage. And no,
please tell me you clipped that. I
didn't clip it at the time. I was a teenager, like fresh out of high school, so I didn't have any money to my name. I think I took a video with on my phone, and it's like on Facebook somewhere that I could actually go find. But, like, it's not good quality. And then 20 seconds later, I have another video updated where I killed like one of the frostbite spiders in the tutorial cave, and the thing looked like it was creaming itself because it was spitting venom everywhere in like a waterfall. It was just it was like it's a solid minute and a half video where I'm just sitting here staring at it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. But,
should I kill it?
No, it was dead. I killed it. That was the thing that was funny. It was dead and it was on its back, but it was like spraying venom like in a perpetual stream, like from between its legs. And I was like, all right, dude, not cool. Well, that's the thing. Like, like she said, people expect it from Bethesda games, but it's like people also like to crap on Bethesda for the weirdest things. Like when Bethesda says, hey, I'm making a survival game, and people are like, oh, you're going to have 600 NPCs in it. And they're like, no, it's a survival game. Oh, 600 NPCs. And I'm like, and then that's their defining, argument is like, it's not a Fallout game because there's nobody to interact with. And I'm like, I don't, do you want me to go to find what the description of like a survival game is and just kind of send it to you? Because like either you're not reading at a third grade reading level, or like there's like a really big disconnect here, homie. And like that was bad when Fallout 76 tanked as bad as it did. I mean, Vanilla's not wrong probably, but like when 76 tanked, I don't know if you guys are aware, but like Bethesda like almost went under because of it. Because of how bad 76 tanked and all the money they had to send back. And I'm like, can you believe that like people not being able to read at a third grade level is why your company almost tanks after like 20 years of putting out content? I would have been pissed.
Or just in general, people not reading the description of the game, not actually saying, okay, it's a survival game, okay, you know, and understanding what that means.
And I get it. It was buggy. The content wasn't like the greatest, but it wasn't that bad of a game. And then Nuclear Winter came out, which was like the weirdest thing I never thought I was going to see in like a Bethesda game. And Malk, if you're not aware, Nuclear Winter was literally a battle royale in Fallout 76.
Oh, really?
But it was really fun, and it like within the last year I think shut down. But it was like game changing because you unlocked content for like your normal like 76 character. But like it's one of those things where like it's buggy, it's Bethesda. Everybody who was a 76 fan loved it, knowing it was going to be buggy going into it. Because I think like the first 6 games I played, the ring never closed. So then you just had the whole Fallout 76 map of like clapping whoever you came into contact with because that was it. And I mean, it was like whatever, it happened. But
well, like I said, I mean, people expect it from Bethesda, and Bethesda's community has made it kind of a meme now, you know, to find the glitches and to exploit them and laugh their asses off at how bad the glitches and the bugs are, and say, you know, well, this is something that you can do in the game, and they actually make it into like an Easter egg thing now. So it's one of those expected things.
That, or they think Todd Howard's gonna put, Skyrim on like your toaster in the next like year or two, because like that's the other big Bethesda thing, because that man's released that game for literally everything.
Last thing was VR.
Yeah, but
no, I think you can actually play Skyrim on your smart fridge. There's a way to like download it, because you can download stuff on a through your Samsung smart fridge, and like people have found ways to put Skyrim on like their smart fridge and play Skyrim on the smart fridge.
Good thing to pass the time while you're cooking, I guess. I don't know.
That's mad. We're in this mad world of all this technology and stuff. And
it's Samsung for you. That's what does it, man. Apple's got nothing on Samsung when it comes to any of that stuff.
No, absolutely.
So I mean, the fact that they're wanting to generate the revenue for the companies with these ads, I think is a good concept for them to try and do. I don't know how it's going to go over, because people, like you guys are saying, they're not expecting them to stay subtle. They're not expecting to, to stay on a particularly, oh, this is supposed to be a product placement or an ad placement for the players. They're not expecting them to stay on that level. And people aren't used to seeing that. I mean, we see it in GTA, but they're fake ads, right? They're not like real ads that would actually be, real products on the billboards.
Well, that's the thing, though. Grand Theft Auto and like Saints Row are the perfect examples of how perfect like that type of ad system would work. Like, there's actual radio channels that you can just get ad reads for. There's billboards. There's like movies that you see playing in the background. There's TVs that have actual channels. There's plenty of things in games like those that could cause them to come out. Like, if Volition ever turned around to me and they were like, "Yeah, we're going broke with the new Saints Row. We don't know what we're doing," I'd be like, "You're stupid," because like the ad revenue is literally right there. Like, yeah, probably it sacrifices some integrity, but like, who actually has integrity these days? Nobody. It's not there. No. But again, zombie survival games or any post-apocalyptic survival, even Fallout, like it's different with Bethesda. Again, they have Nuka-Cola, which I mean we all know is Coke. Like, who are they even kidding? It's not even like that's not Coke. But Sunset Sarsaparilla was literally just like mug root beer. If you looked at the label, like that's essentially what that was too. It was just like they weren't even beating around the bush at all. Like you could really do stuff with that. Or like Star Wars, I think has product placement with Coca-Cola and their products too, because they have it at Galaxy's Edge, where like in the movies it's just kind of like they have Coke floating around now. If you look close enough in like Star Wars media, it's there. They have the special bottles that they released for Galaxy's Edge too.
That's mad.
Midnight snacks in Skyrim fridge is what Vanilla said. Excuse me, I have integrity. I bought it for $4.99.
Yeah, you probably bought that from EA, so it wasn't complete. He's got to wait for the next update.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I know we talk about Bethesda and stuff, and out of all their issues itself, I mean, don't get me wrong, without their company, there will be no Fallout, there will be no jokes about the games itself. But and when they do
Skyrim memes.
No,
our world
Skyrim
would not be the same without the Skyrim memes.
Absolutely not.
I'd pocket would be a lot more full.
That's true.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's very true.
But Skyrim like 11 times.
Yeah. But like I said, I mean, there's other companies that I was mentioned about earlier on. There's other companies that would love to have to hear the fans' feedback. They should do more demos first and give it free to the company. and test out the server itself, like with everyone going in.
They could do focus groups with how it works well in the game. Apparently with the product place with the ads, they're already planning on trying to release it. But if they did a test and did a demo with a specific like story or whatever, like a special free demo, and they would kind of throw that technology in there, they could see how the public would react to the ads and everything, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's weird, right? I do think we need to bring back the whole. What we need to stop doing is giving like Twitch streamers like the only ones access to like fucking try a game.
Absolutely.
We need to, because all right, cool. Yes. Twitch streamers get to play with like devs, but like have an actual beta, right? Like the last time I saw a game with an actual beta, and like it's gonna disgust me to say this because the thought of this game makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Was oh my god, it's so bad that I completely shut the name.
Black Desert. It?
Yeah, I did. Black Desert.
Blocked it.
Black Desert had like a beta, and I think it was around the same time as Fallout 76. So if you want to interchange the two of them, you can. And Bethesda was clever with it. They made it like a whole. I don't know if you've ever like seen, but like Fallout has like a whole mini series of like videos. If you let the game just sit on the title screen, where it's like this is what strength stands for, and like special stats, and like this is how it be used in the situation. They called it the Break It Early test application for their beta. Like they gave it like a whole thing, and they were like, "Listen, please break the game for us so we know what's wrong and so we can fix it." Like more companies need to do that. And Black Desert even had their beta where they were like, you'll get some in-game stuff when the game launches, but like you're not gonna have your characters. Break the game. Like do it. Like do what you can. Violate this game. Like no terms of service. Go hard. Do what you can do to break it. And like more multiplayer games need that, because then it would stop us from having the same issue where like, oh hey, like let's say Trance and I want to play like PUBG gets like a second game. It comes out at midnight and we want to go play it at midnight, but we can't play the game until 8:00 in the morning the next day because the servers were just getting distraught and ruined by like the immense amount of people hopping in. Like you can stress test things easily if you would just open it up for like a day or two, like 2 or 3 weeks. You would have thought New World would have done that, right? Because technically I guess New World was the most recent game that did it, right? But like even when the game came out, the servers were just as bad as the beta was, and I was like, how did you have 2 weeks of me like sitting here putting all my time and effort into this, and then it's just as bad when it comes out?
They've probably just done like a certain amount of servers or a certain amount of people into that
That's
one
what I was
server and then
thinking,
test
right?
it. Yeah.
But New World also did that thing where they were like, "Oh, don't worry, you can switch servers as soon as the real game." No, you couldn't. And then it took 3 months, and then our population was like at 6 people per server because like it was bad. And I was like, "Oh, hate to be that guy." And that was another one that streamers ruined, right? Because New World was one of those games that was so resource dependent and like dependent on which factions were where that streamers literally, I think, killed that game. Because they were like, oh, hey, come to this server. So then all their servers were just run by that one faction. Or like, if it was a streamer who wasn't popular, then what would happen is like everybody would join the other factions. And then that guy's whole stream would be him getting stomped on by people. And it was just...
Yeah.
You would have thought they would have fixed that when the beta was out. Like, found a way to like work towards things, had like a private, streamer mode type thing in New World. But again, they had a beta and didn't do anything with it. So I don't like to credit Amazon with anything for New World. I pretend it didn't exist. But 76 and Black Desert actually fixed a lot of things with their beta, and that was like the last time I can remember a beta coming out that was actually helpful. So again,
well, they did release the public test realm, but still, I mean, it was only for a limited time before the next part of it would come out.
Different than beta, right? So like public test is like typically after the game's out. That's where they start with like the updates, and where if Malk and I wanted to play a game together and we were playing in a public test server, we'd be playing the newest version of like the game that's about to come out, and like then there's the actual game that's like usually a version or two behind. Like Smite's like that. As something that I play, it's just a little different, but I get what you're saying. As far as like after the game's launched already, a lot of games do that, but it doesn't help. The initial month that usually kills every game, where it's like ideal for it being out. Like Halo, I guess technically had a beta that stress tested it a little bit, although Halo failed for like it being Halo, and it just fell off after the hype was dead. But
because it was just.
What were we talking about again? I just kind of went on a tangent.
Ads and games is originally
it was ads and games, and then we went to Bethesda type stuff as well.
Listen, Vanilla, and
He
like
just
on my phone
re-downloaded
under
it, by the way.
Yeah, I did.
He
And
did.
right under the stream, right under the webcam, while you see me look down, is I've got the Pro League going on. I was catching up on that.
Yep.
But
Great
yeah, I
big
mean,
lead.
I just hope that they've just make it better and make it easier for all of us. But
Yep.
and I do agree. I mean, they just need to not give it to specific streamers or specific groups as such. And I said about the F1 many times. When the F1 comes out, like the brand new games, they give out to the YouTube streamers or the Twitch streamers that they do first, and they're the ones who bring out all the content. And then I'll buy the game, and then it was like, this is not tested stress tested at all.
Yeah.
Like, when I say stress tested, I mean like what Senpai said, loads of people hitting the server at one time. That's where, if you get that sorted at the start, where everyone does it as a demo, like if Battlefield did it or anyone else did it, like with a popular server itself, once that was sorted, you would know, yes, you would have had a bad review at the start. And I think that's probably why people tried to not do that as much. They try to do it certain ones and then go for it. But if you go for it at the start, you get all those issues out of the way, and then by the time you get to the game, you'd be like, this is so much better than the demo. Much better, no issues, no tissues, that type of stuff as well.
Well, that was
I
like,
mean, demos would be a great way for people to find out the problems early on, and have like a free weekend or something, and say, here, free weekend, check it out, do everything you want to in this game and get started on this. And I think more and more companies are starting to do free weekends to see how things go with that, or to try and bring people in, or when they're getting ready to release a game, like as an actual release, they release it as a free weekend so people can play it the first weekend and then they can get in. But I think that if it was more, I think it was more publicly announced and stuff like that, and more publicly accessible, then that would probably be best. So
it's gonna sound really like I'm just jerking them off at this point, but like Bethesda with like ESO does a free weekend like I think it's like every 2 or 3 months. They've done it for like the last 2 years. We get, and Rainbow Six Siege does free weekends too. He's not wrong. That's another big one that Vanilla put out right there. There's a lot of bigger companies that have those games that are like super popular, that have the dwindling player base, and it's bad to say it because it's like their last struggle to like gasp for air is they're like sinking, because like it's games that are never doing great that end up doing these free weekends, and it's what keeps them alive sometimes. Like you'll see a huge jump in like ESO's player base for that weekend, and then it'll stay up there for like a month or two maybe after that free weekend, and then it falls off, and then they have a DLC come out, and then everyone comes back. But like it's the MMO cycle that we all fall for. But like it's weirder with like Rainbow Six Siege, but it's not like it's putting out content regularly. I don't know. I haven't played the game in like 2 or 3 years, so like it's like every 2 or 3 months I think they put out new operators. Is that what they're called? I think. But the game will like completely shut down. You'll have like the same 6 people. I've had it. It's the same in like older Call of Duties where you go into matchmaking with the same like 9 guys over and over and over again. Not your team, but like like I could go into a game like 20 minutes after Malk starts searching, and I'll end up in games with him, and it's just because there's nobody playing the game. And Siege just happens to be one of those games. I don't. If there's one thing that has free weekends that I never understood why it had them or why the game even existed in the first place, it was Destiny. And I don't know if it's because I'm so bitter about Destiny or just what it is, but they were like constantly bragging about having free weekends, and I'm like, cool, you have 2 hours of content. Like, why do I need a whole free weekend? Give me a free half hour to play, and then like let me decide if I want to come back and waste my time on this game. But like, it was just,
absolutely.
I don't know.
Operators, I loved watching R6, but all my favorite YouTubers stopped playing it. That's fair.
Yeah, I think the game fell off. Like, again, I watched Alfredo
There's still people that play it,
but it's one of those games where, like, if I have friends who play it, I'll get like lit one night and just go play the game. But like, I'm not gonna take it serious. I'm gonna friendly fire everybody because I play Tachanka and I'm shooting through a wall.
That just reminded me of something. We need to get drunk and play some Sea of Thieves. We need to be drunk pirates.
I can't take my game serious as it is, and I swear to God, every dumb idea I have in Sea of Thieves works out, and eventually my luck's gonna wear out. It's just not gonna happen.
Can I join? Can I join the Sea of Thieves?
Yes.
More than merrier.
I'll do the drive. I'll do the driving because I was
good at the
driving.
Good at driving, by the way. Yeah, he's actually pretty good.
And
we played together on my stream, and he's actually pretty good at steering. I was impressed.
I hope you're fine with me telling you to slam into every pirate we come across, because that's kind of my.
Bring
my
Dom.
go-to.
Yeah, we should bring Dom too.
Yeah, I would just go for it. I mean, I remember Trans. This is what happened with Trans's stream. She got killed by the
Yeah.
boss on one of the islands, and I was in the
Lots
boat,
of death.
and I was just minding my own business. I was just waiting for Trans because we had some communication issues with the microphone itself, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, another pirate ship out of nowhere just started shooting. I thought, where the fuck is this shooting at us? And I realised afterwards, I thought, I've got no chance. And there was someone else with us. I don't know what was his name.
Oh, it was Dom.
I think that was Dom.
It
Yeah.
was Dom, yeah. 'Cause I was
Dom.
watching.
Dom, yeah. So Trans Dom, they weren't there. I was the only one on the ship. I was fucked, to be fair, basically, because I was just like, I don't know what to do with this ship. All I know is I could just steer it. But then they just kept shooting. I just thought, yeet it off with the server itself. But it was so great because it was so much impact with everything going on. There was so much gold, so much treasure. I remember Trans was trying to dig, Trans was trying to dig, or Dom was trying to dig six treasure chests in one island. It was like, oh, this one, oh, this one, oh, this one. And then Trans was like, I'm getting killed.
We have a weird play style because I don't. First of all, I'm usually the navigator and the one steering the ship. Typically, I try to do both, but I'm also the guy standing on the bow with just playing an instrument and playing the same three songs.
Yeah.
And I'll steer directly into enemy ships while they're shooting at us. I won't return fire. I'll sit up in the crow's nest with an explosive barrel, and right before we hit them, I'll drop it on the front of the ship and spear through people. She watched us do it to this one guy as soon as we and ended up in a server. The first thing we did is we found an explosive barrel, and I crashed into somebody, and I stole like 6 hours worth of grinding from these people because I just took them out immediately as I was trolling them, and I didn't even care. I was just doing like drifts around them in the boat, dropping the anchor and picking it up. And it's just, I'm there to troll, man. I'm not there to like take the game serious in the slightest. It's bad.
Which is why a drunk night would be amazing. Drunk pirates just giving people shit. I'd be all about it.
I have like the audio turned on too, so where like I can turn the megaphone around and like yell at the other pirate crews from like hella far away and everything. So I'm just flaming people from like the safety of my boat.
Would this be the first ever drunk stream you guys would be in?
Together, yeah, but I've done so many of them.
Now this would be absolutely fucking epic as well. This would be absolutely epic.
We had to make a plan to make that happen because I would so be down for it.
You got a date or anything to plan?
It has to be like a day when I don't have to go anywhere. Because I don't need to get drunk and then go out to get the boyfriend.
Well,
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I am not starting that hydrate train like last time. Remember that, Chance?
Oh, I do.
Speaking of, by the way, guys, the hydrate on my channel, I took away the the limitations of how many you could do. There's still a limitation per player. No, not per player. It's total, I think. I think we fixed it where it's total, but there's no limitations per player anymore. So there you go. There's a cooldown, but no limitations. Got it. Nailed it. Just took 10 times to do it.
And then Senpai's like, shit. I wasn't enjoying those hydrate trains itself.
Hydrate trains are fun.
I haven't been able to be anyone the whole time I've been around. We've had to wait like 2 to 5 minutes.
Well, Reese hasn't been here either, so.
We've only had one, and that was from Toad today, to be fair. But...
It's fine, I finished all of the Colossus. Doesn't look like I have anything here anyway.
How many cans, mate? How many cans?
I've
Today
got more
in total?
of these.
Yeah.
I mean, since we've been live, it's only been 2. But before that, I think we're on like 7. So.
Shit.
And he's not sharing.
Well, how can you share on a podcast, Trans?
Just saying.
I mean, that's the downside when it's not live, you know? Like it in person.
Keeping it smooth.
That's when you just need it on chat.
When I come and see you, we might do a stream or whatever, and we'll do a live on scene, and we'll just fuck around and just be goofballs. I'm totally down.
I'll be like, what the hell's going on? And welcome to the Bish Bash Bosh podcast. And where's Trans? Oh, Trans is
she's up there with Day Senpai, hanging out, chilling, and getting drunk, and just being crazy.
There'll be
Because
no
I
news
feel like how
articles.
crazy that we are, you and I will just be amplified when we're in the same room together.
Probably. I mean, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I'm also usually pretty mellow when I'm like around here.
I'm just saying,
Low energy.
we get goofy. I think it's going to be worse when we're in the same room together.
Maybe, yeah, I can see it.
Have you showed Senpai the stream that you was absolutely wasted?
No,
No.
I have not.
It's archived though, technically, right?
Should be
It's
archived.
archived, and it's also like the drunk stream from last season is on my YouTube as well too.
That's so. I'm pretty sure I've seen most of the episodes of the podcast.
Yeah, there's a
I've
drunk
gone through and
stream
watched
from
most
last
of them.
season, Vanilla. It was the last episode of season 1, episode 20, and I was drunk off my ass.
Absolutely, but it
Yeah.
was the one where I did give you the hydrates train itself.
I don't remember
That's
if
the
it
one.
was that one. That might have been a different one, but I don't
Yeah,
know what
that's
that
gonna be a
stream
different
was.
one.
You gotta get more stuff like to redeem your points for that I can do to actively mess with you when you're on the stream, because everything you have is for like when you're gaming, and like I'm usually sitting like in the city next to you, so it's not like I'm like paying attention to like the stream at that point, so can't do anything with it. Although with the way you drive, I feel like it'd be an improvement if I made you play with your controller upside down.
I don't have a controller though. It would be my keyboard.
Turn your keyboard upside down. I feel like it'd be an
That
improvement.
would be epic. That would be epic. Don't forget, I had to do the controllers upside down when I had to do the reverse.
Yes, for Overcooked. Yes, I remember that. That was hilarious.
So what happened was, Senpai, I played Overcooked with Trans and a few others as well. And guess what? What did Trans do? There's an option on the stream called reverse. So basically, imagine. Oh no, I'm not. I had the controller, but imagine the keyboard like that. So the keyboard values were like upside down. And basically, Trans could not stop pissing herself laughing. I was doing circles like in No Man's Business.
It was hilarious. It was so good.
Listen, Vanilla, you missed it, but like an hour before we started doing this, I shot out the windshield like 95 times. And it wasn't even like a seatbelt related thing. It's like, I swear to God, once you're going 30 miles per hour in the city, you're coming through the windshield.
We can actually probably move on to freeform discussion. I think we've pretty much passed by the main discussion.
Yeah, sorry.
So we're going to segment 3 unexpectedly, like, because we just kind of shifted in that direction.
I was meant to be
Vanilla.
Typical Vanilla. Typical. Unbelievable. He just wants to join into the podcast as a streamer. Whenever he is going to be a streamer itself. Imagine Vanilla and Senpai and Ted's Gaming all in one in the podcast.
That'd be a bad idea.
That would be hilarious.
Listen, I've got so many Ligma jokes I can hit you guys with, but I'm trying to contain myself because it's more funny when I hit her with them when she's playing as Olivia in the city. I'm going to be honest with you.
Can you tell me which ones?
I got one with the cops the other day. It's, what's your preference, e-girls or i-ladies?
Oh, I am not answering that.
Yeah, that's i-ladies nuts on your face.
I'm not answering.
He fell for it though. He was sitting there with like 3 other cops, and I pulled up alongside this man, and he got flamed for like the next 20 minutes. It was just every time I run into the cops in the city and I have somebody next to me and I can do it, I go for it. I don't care.
He does 100%.
I'll pull up to like gang members that are having like serious conversations and threatening me, and then I'll hit them with a Ligma joke and then peel off. Like I don't even care. Like, what are you? Am I on? Out.
Can I just say you're one fucking amazing person? Remember that.
I wish I could take more credit for it, but like the joke.
Well, I'm giving you credit now. To be fair,
I was like, listen, when Among Us was popular, I got kicked out of the space station like every 30 seconds because I was hitting people with Ligma jokes.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be like, listen, I don't know what was going on. I was just doing my ween test, and they're like, "What's my ween?" I'm like, "My wiener in your mouth." And then just been voted out immediately. I would have to defend myself. I'd be gone.
Did they do like the emergency button straight away?
Oh, we were already like
after
in the conversation. That's what it'd be, though. Everybody would be like having their discussion. They'd be like, "Well, what were you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I was just doing the my ween test." And they're like, "The what?" That's when you hit them with like the old Thanos, like, "I'm sorry, little one," and then you hit them with the actual joke, and then they just kicked me out every time. It didn't matter.
Great.
Mad. Absolutely mad, to be fair.
I was there when he did the cop. That was hilarious. That was so funny.
Did you?
It's the same cop every time too. He's got to be like ready
He
for
falls
it.
for it every time.
Every
He falls
time.
for it every time.
I'll come up to him hella serious when I go to start the conversation, and that should immediately be his sign that something's coming on.
Teasing me with a good time.
Yeah, this is the free. Well, we went from the bit of the main discussion straight to the freeform.
Welcome to the freeform discussion, guys. We just kind of just shifted into that, so I'm like, we can probably just go ahead and say we're in freeform discussion. It's fine.
This whole thing's been freeform discussion, right? We've been off topic the
Kinda.
entire time, even when you had your topics, right? It's my fault, but yeah, we weren't. Ever
It's
on
not
topic.
your fault.
I'm
It's not
okay
Bro, how
your
many
with
times
it,
did we
though.
talk about Bethesda though? We had like a solid hour-long conversation about me pretty much filleting Bethesda.
Autocorrect. Damn faulty keyboard. Sorry, Vanilla.
I hate it when it's like the mobile version when you type something in. You
Oh
like
god, yeah.
imagine.
Oh, I mean, I'm ducking mad all the time. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
that's what I mean. Duck.
It's
And
ducking
then,
crazy.
Yeah, ducking freaking mad itself.
Or you
Did
gotta
get
be
to
ducking
play
kidding
the
me.
acronym game with us?
Acronym.
No, I was in the
Did you
city
get
doing
to play
hood
the
rat
acronym
shit.
game? You was in the city doing hood rat shit.
Yeah.
Wanna play
Yeah.
acronyms? The hell?
I mean, we can. I gotta head out in a couple of minutes anyway, so I wasn't gonna be able
you
to
got
stick
dinner
around
and
for the
such.
whole. Yeah.
That's Wednesday.
That's fun.
Yeah, so
I'll get hit if I take too long, you know. She's over
That's
here making
Wednesday.
faces at me now, but she knows it's right. You know, it's the Italian genes that are coming out. She's gonna start hitting me.
Do you
No,
guys
hood
want?
rat shit. Hood rat shit.
Oh, hot girl shit, same thing.
Do you guys want to discuss about the GTA RP side of things, which are the
Yes,
updates we need
let's
to
hit that up
shout
before he's got to go. So we can go ahead and
Yeah.
hit the updates for GTRP. So, and he's here now, so you can catch me in case I forget anything. So this week, what? What?
I'm looking at some post face. It was like,
Okay, back to what I was saying, guys.
Hey, don't choke on it.
So this week, we are on the final. Catch me outside. How about that? And this week we're on the last few like real life days, which are effectively the last few weeks of Olivia's
Technically, it should be
pregnancy.
tomorrow. I was
Tuesday.
doing the math. Oh yeah, how long are you taking it? Because I thought you were doing every day was like a week.
Every day is 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
And it's 7.5 months right now. Today is 7.5 months. So it would be Tuesday because it would be 2 weeks. Tomorrow would be 8 months. 2 weeks Monday, 2 weeks Tuesday. Which if we're doing it on time. But yeah, the math, Vanilla. Hey, and also on top of that, Xander and Olivia are now EMS. So they've been working EMS like crazy. That was last week. But
it all blends together.
Wait. Okay, let me finish. They got promoted this week. Olivia is chief of operations, and Xander is surgeon now because we've been grinding our asses off at the hospital. And he's been putting in the work, guys. He really has. So I'm personally when I'm playing the city, I'm trying to get things going for EMS. So that's really good. I know, right, Vanilla? Seriously. Olivia's always like, "Hey, handsome doctor."
Well, he's a surgeon, not a doctor.
Don't give any ideas. Trans.
No, listen, he's trying to be the head doctor. He's going for it, top of the pecking order.
And
then he's going to quit and become a cop.
Exclusive. Is it called the exclusive moments on there as well?
But no,
Yeah,
so she's in
tune
the
in to
last
find
few
out.
days. Well, the last few real life days of Olivia's pregnancy. So we'll see how that goes. I want to do it to term. I don't know if I'll do it early. We'll see. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I mean, there's that going on. They got the promotion. Olivia taking over EMS. We've got a few
Yeah,
new people hired in for EMS. Olivia's as big as a house now, and she's constantly
the
talking about
mansion.
it. She's the mansion now, the baby mansion.
Vanilla, I was too, but it was just like a movie that only lasted like half an hour. It was it wasn't the longest scene.
Wow. We're gonna make poor Malk choke over there. Are you okay? Are you
I mean, isn't
fine?
that the goal, milk?
Okay. It's like God. So that's
I'm
pretty much
trying.
what's been going on in city. And
Fucking
that's
hell.
pretty much where they're at right now. So trying to get EMS in ship shape and having this baby and yeah, and promotions and what else? Is there anything else I'm missing?
We have a rat we're dealing with.
Yeah, we've got issues over at the mechanic shop, so we're working with that too because we still run the mechanic shop too. We're sorting that out. There's a problem there. It's in the
Sending
process of
somebody to
being
break his
resolved.
knees. We're fine. It's fine. We're fine.
Fine. It's okay. We've
It's fine.
figured it out. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now for the GTRP updates. So
Yeah, it's like the weirdest thing, right? I was talking to Trent about it when she was Olivia, like in character and everything, and I was like, we're the only EMS in the city, first of all, so you're gonna piss off the only people who are willing to bring you back to life and stop you from dying. Second of all, we're also the only mechanic shop in the city that's open to the public, and you're gonna rip us off. I was
100%.
like, they managed to make an enemy out of everybody in the server in like the same 10-second window, and I was like big yikes. I don't think he thought that one through all the way.
I don't think so either.
It's
We
like,
know
that's
who the
weird.
person is. We're in the process of sussing them out. So yeah,
Taking knees.
right now.
Whoa.
Olivia's been eating a lot of watermelon because a new shop opened up and they sell watermelon, and the watermelon both helps your hunger and thirst at the same time. So it's like an easy snack. You just throw it, good to go. So
just eating the whole watermelon. Just
no
the whole.
watermelon slices.
Oh, I was going to say
Probably a
just the
full
whole.
watermelon at this point now, though. As many
Oh,
slices as they've been doing.
I accidentally bought a car last night because I'm an idiot.
Yep. Xander
So,
accidentally bought a car.
What
the
car?
Coquette, so the Corvette, essentially, like the Grand Theft Auto version of a Corvette.
Yeah.
I went to go test drive it and accidentally hit the purchase now because I was big balling with all the money in my pockets. It was like, all right, you just buy the car outright, have fun. And I was like, oh, guess I fucking own this now.
So how many
I
cars have
actually
you
bought
guys?
a car.
So how many cars have you guys bought now?
So we had an issue when it was about a month and a half ago now that like for whatever reason there was an issue migrating something or something failed and like the whole city pretty much had to get rebuilt and like everyone had to like remake their characters and come back in. I think it was 11 cars at the time that happened without adding hers to the total, and I decided to scrap all of them for the cash and bought a whole other business because I could with the money from the cars, and then rolled around big balling for like about 2 or 3 weeks, just paying for whatever I wanted to because it didn't really concern me. And I think now I've only got like 5. I've got the trophy truck, which anybody who's seen like any of her gameplay things from like 2 or 3 months ago when they first got together, that's the thing I killed all the cops with because I ran them over. So they red alert me whenever I'm in that. They don't now because I'm EMS, but if I ever went to go back to being a criminal, as soon as I got in that thing, that was it. The tires were gone. I bought a $10,000 car for shits and giggles when we were doing illegal things because there's a big issue in our city with the police where they like to bring out like the Teslas that go like almost 200 miles an hour and like all of their supercars and all their fancy things for like normal things. This car goes like 110 miles per hour with upgrades in it.
Yeah.
It is like the biggest garbage, like dumb piece of shit bullshit thing I could have ever picked up, and I love it to death. It's literally like a 1990s Lincoln or something like that. Like it's a very old car, and I love it to death. So I have that. I have a motorcycle that I bought because, again, when I was doing hood rat shit, you could fire a sawed-off shotgun off the back of it. So when a cop was running his mouth, I would just pull it out of my pockets, and he'd just be on the floor, and I'd leave. And that was it from that. So I have that bike, and then what else? Oh, I have the 6x6, which is like pretty much like the Jeep Commander, but without the It would just more so be like a Jeep Commander, essentially.
You
It's just
can
like
fit
a
6
big
people in it. It's got an
Yeah, yeah.
extended cab, and then you got people who can sit in the back of the truck too, and it's got six wheels. So
then I put armor on that, and I put bulletproof tires on it, and then
Mhm.
just kind of ran through cops like it was a semi truck because they can't pit it. So I fling people off the road and off interstates. So it's
pretty
all I
funny.
have left compared to like the 11 I was using that I constantly switched through.
Yeah,
I sold
and
the
I
Tesla
think I only
because
have the
she can't do
4.
math.
I only have 4 cars. I think I only have
Is
the
this
4. I
what
have the
Ford sounds
Verlier, the
like?
Cheetah.
You should
Sold
have
my 11
5.
cars. Yeah, I have the Verlier, the Cheetah, the Outlaw, the
Tailgater.
Tailgater, and I didn't buy another car yet. So,
Verlier, Cheetah,
but I have enough to
Tailgater,
buy my own
Outlaw.
personal EMS vehicle, which I plan to do.
I still have
Outright.
enough for that.
Outright.
I still have enough for that. Almost. By the time they get the store open, I'll have enough for it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so mad at myself, right? We were just test driving like supercars, and I was looking for something to kind of put like a down payment on and just pay it off over time, like finance it. I just fucked up and hit the buy now button. I didn't even test drive the car I was going to test drive. That's like, all right, we're taking it.
The Chippendale names, what? I mean, Outlaw, I can see that.
Every
I can
car
see
she's
that
interested
one.
in is named after a cat. It's, she's got the cheetah, and
I
she was
like
looking
the
at,
Lynx.
another Ocelot brand vehicle. Yeah, it was the Lynx.
I like the Lynx. I also like the I think it's the Ocelot Osiris.
Which at least that's not named after a cat.
Yeah, but the company is Ocelot is.
Right, but I also think the cheetah and the Lynx are both Ocelots, right? So like you're just buying every car from that same company.
No, the Cheetah's a Grotti.
I don't know.
Cheetah's
All
Grotti.
the cars in Grand Theft Auto are named weird things.
It's cool though.
I just want to get all the off-road cars. That's what I want to do because I want to put nitrous in them and just really take that shit off a mountain.
Hey, the Outlaw is badass. Just saying, the Outlaw's
I hate
amazing.
that thing.
You hate it? Why do you hate
Looks like
it?
what happens if like a dune buggy came out with an extra chromosome. Like it's just not a good-looking car. And I don't know how you think it looks so nice.
It's badass. Thing jumps hills like it's nothing.
To be fair though,
Yeah.
I need to get back to the RP. To be
You
honest,
should.
Just haven't had a chance. To be fair,
Manley needs to come and see his friend.
Yes. Yeah.
I still can't believe they spilled all that everywhere, Malk. I just looked down at the floor where the mouse pad was sitting.
Right. Can I, Chance? You need to rewatch it back because I'm not repeating what Empire was saying. Just so.
Okay.
And then you're being gobsmacked by be like, oh my god.
Yeah, then Big Fudge will fucking come for me.
That's so right. With phrasing, that's so wrong on there.
That is his tagline in Discord. It says phrasing every time. It does.
Yeah, but
so you know how in Discord you can make comments and notes for like people? You bet your ass her nickname says Big Fudge for me. So every time, like, it tells me, like, it tells us, like, at the top of Discord what her name is and like the other servers that like we're in together. So it says like Olivia or like whatever it says for like the 9 other servers we're in for the city. And
Noah.
and then it just says Big Fudge like towards the end of everything, and I'm just like, oh, she doesn't know.
Now I do.
So how do you feel, Trans, with that scenario?
Now I know.
I mean, she's legitimately always going to be Big Fudge. It's never going to not be. She's never going to not be Big Fudge. You can sit here and have that same shit-eating grin she's got on right now. She's always going to be Big Fudge.
I hate it. I hate it so bad.
She did it to herself too. She could have just not told us what she was thinking. As soon as we left, as soon as it was over, and the 3 of us were hanging out, she's like, "You want to know why I was laughing?" And I was like, "All right, well now you're really Big Fudge, and it's not going anywhere." Like at least Cream Machine will fall off because I'll eventually forget about it. But like
yeah, forgot about it.
I mean,
Big Fudge will never fall off. Is it?
Are you trying to kill Milk?
That's like the 4th time in the last half hour.
What are you trying to do?
Please don't take out my friend.
I've got to head out. So
you gotta head out.
Have fun. It's been fun. I'll be around.
Have a good night.
When Vanilla inevitably riots and you need me again, you know where to come.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cheers for that, mate.
Yeah,
cheers for joining us,
guys.
And you, mate. Take care. Cheers for that. Bye.
See ya.
I can't believe that. Cannot believe it.
Hi.
Oh,
Now, and then there were two.
hi.
Hi.
You'd be like, what the hell's going on in this scenario? Yeah, thank you to the Daddy Senpai for joining us again for the trilogy. Was this the
I know,
trilogy
right?
moment? But
It goes downhill from here.
Yeah. So, have you got any more from the GTA RP side of things?
No, that's pretty much it, really. I mean, it really is. They've got the promotion. Olivia's taken over EMS at least for now. We'll see how things go.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
you too.
Thank you.
Which I forgot to mention. Sorry on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be going back to the city, but like, hey, do you know where Olivia is? Like, she's not at
She's the
the
boss at EMS.
She's the boss at I nearly said AMS. I meant to say
AMS. Wow.
AMS. Yeah, that's a new one now. EMS one. I'll be like, oh, she doesn't work at the shop anymore. I'm like, yeah, she does, but she's the boss. Oh, do not fucking mess with her.
She's the owner of a mechanic shop, and she is the chief of operations at EMS. Yeah. She's Superwoman. She's doing it all. And she's about to have a baby. So, doesn't get much better than that.
Super duper.
And they say there are no strong female role models in gaming.
Finna, that's right. It's Olivia in it. Sick. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm not answering that other comment that you mentioned about Finland, but yeah, I need to get back to the city, to be honest, and to see everyone again, to see Olivia, and try to be smooth before Senpai kills me as well. Yeah, so should we go to the Ask Us Anything part or go back to the free-form discussion? It's up to you.
Sure. Ask Us Anything is good. That's a good time to do it now.
Cool.
We'll see if anything comes up.
So, guys, we've had the first segment, which is the PC console news. We've had also the main discussion for a brief moment until we mentioned about Bethesda, until we decided to go off topic.
Microtransactions.
And then turn into a free-form discussion for like an hour, which we mentioned about I know you said microtransaction discussion. I meant to say main discussion itself. Main discussion topic.
There is something in the water, Malk. None of us can talk today. There's something going on. I don't know what's going on.
To be fair, I had a Malibu, 1 can of Malibu.
I've had nothing. I've just been drinking my drink, my juices.
Your Capri Sun drinks.
It's not a Capri Sun.
But it is kind of like...
I promise you, this is not a Capri Sun. It's made like a Capri Sun. It's one company's answer to Capri Sun.
How do you say, like, I hear you guys say mobile. I'm like, it's mobile. Say mobile. Say mo. Go on. For me, please.
If I say it, it's going to sound real weird.
It's not. And the Daddy Senpai has returned, but in the chat form. From the dairy section.
Hey.
As well. So why do you not say how I say mobile? Say mobile.
Because I grew up saying mobile, automobile. Makes sense. This is how I grew up.
Say mobile. Say mobile. Like mobile phone. Say
mobile.
Thank you. That is the right saying.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure we all add each other on Discord. Totally.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
If you got any questions, guys,
He's got a point, Vanilla. He's got a point. But then Olivia makes a point to tell him it takes 2, so it takes 2 to have a baby.
Let's see what happens next from that conversation itself. So, Trance, what's going to happen in GTA RP once you've had the... he's a fucker, isn't he? That is Senpai.
Does that make Olivia... Never mind.
Don't say any more now, Chaz, because he'll think of it the wrong way.
I stopped.
What was you going to say though?
Should have met Jesus. I was saying that does that make Olivia squirt then, if that's the case with Day Senpai's Xander?
Oh no. Oh, I did not expect that at all.
Just saying.
Well, now you know. Now you guys know, to be fair. Jesus.
I mean, it was right there.
Well, I don't want to know the detail. Thanks.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know. What's going to be planned for RP after you've had the GTA RP baby? Now,
I don't know. I mean, there's not a way to have toddlers walking around the city right now. I wish they did have the opportunity to have toddlers walking around the city. That'd be amazing. But I mean, Olivia will go on more runs, and Xander's already said that he would hold the baby and let her do more runs because she's kind of been stuck at the hospital because she's as big as a mansion now for the baby. So I think No Pixel does have babies. You're right, but I mean, we don't have them. In our city. So, I mean, there's not an option for our city, but she'll be doing more runs and he'll be watching the baby, and then they'll be going to do stuff and need to get a babysitter. Just wondering, yeah. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, Day Senpai.
I didn't, to be fair.
I knew what he meant.
Well, it's written on the chat. That's why. But yeah, mad scenes. But yeah, I thought, would there be any differences to the job titles or the job roles?
For duck's sake. Probably not. I mean, excuse me. Chief of Operations is vanilla. Chief of Operations can do runs as well, so it's not like she's stuck at the hospital as Chief of Operations. So she'll, and because Xander feels bad that she's kind of been at the hospital more, he's been doing all the field runs, bringing the patients back to her. She's been taking care of them and then getting them up and running. But because he feels bad that he's been doing all the field runs, he said that he would hold on to the baby and let Olivia do the field runs. So
fair enough. Fair.
I know that you're trying to be the head of EMS. You don't want to actually go on the runs, bring the bitches to me. I mean,
that's how the money. That's why he's trying to do the money rolls. Just like,
well, here's the thing, okay? It works out great because if we have, actually, we have extra people in the city now that are on EMS. So we have an EMT that's usually on duty sometimes with us. Then we have the surgeon, which is Xander, and then we have the chief of operations. So the EMT can make the runs, the surgeon can back up if needed, and chief of operations, since chief of operations is pregnant with the baby and about to be having this baby, since chief of operations is pregnant, she stays at the hospital and they bring the people back. Drop so much money every time Olivia and Xander go somewhere. That's very true. You do. Yeah, so it kind of works out because if the EMT needs backup, then there's another person on the chain of command to go and back them up. And then once, they're back to the hospital, then we can get people, taken care of. We can RP out the healing process and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
No seatbelt. Couldn't be the EMT. He was before. He was doing all the runs. He still is. Helicopter, he does. Yep. He's certified. He's air certified, so. But yeah, so I mean, it works out kind of nice when we have a third person, because if we don't need the second person on the field, then surgeon and head of operations stay at the hospital while that one person goes out. But if we do, then we have a second chain of command to go out as well. So surgeons should be staying at the hospital more, but with limited people is what it is.
Yeah. But do you feel GTRP has excelled a bit now? Do you think it bloody
What do you mean?
Do you think GTRP has excelled massively? Do you think it's I know you see different servers and different
Mhm.
aspects itself, but would you ever like to see your own server? Would you ever like to have your own server for your own stuff?
I don't think I could handle having my own city.
Really?
Yeah, I agree. I wish there was a few more things to keep the city going. You're 100% with you on that. But they're putting more stuff in now, and we're trying to make fix things that have been messed up. And EMS literally lost everybody, and is literally now being rebuilt from the ground up. So it's really, and under Olivia, I am like hitting the ground running with EMS. I'm trying to get people in. I'm trying to get people on hired. I'm trying to get trainees done. I want them to get to EMT so we can have more people get promotions so that we can have a full staff at the EMS hospital. So
Yeah.
constantly vanilla. Make a bunch of the guys from us. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Hey, senpai.
I don't know how much it is like to rent a server or host your own server, like to do your own things.
I don't think I could run it. I don't think I could. I mean, I have limited time already, and with Dai Senpai having limited time with his recent job that he's been in, the hours that I spend in city have significantly reduced because we're not staying up till 1, 2 in the morning and playing GTA. Instead of we're both going to bed usually by 12 my time. So except for the weekends, and if we're feeling up to being late, but more often than not, we're usually in bed early. So never run anything ever. Playing free management sucks. 100%.
I'm trying to think of some other questions.
Well, Vanilla had a question earlier.
Oh, did he? Sorry.
Yeah,
Which
he
one
did.
was that?
He said, for everyone, name one character you wish was deleted from a game.
Oh.
Honestly, Vanilla.
Oh, sorry, Vanilla.
Know.
I'm so sorry about that. There was so much dairy and other comments coming in. That sounded so wrong. Sorry, phrasing.
Yeah.
Different ones. Vanilla says, for everyone, name one character you wish was deleted from a game. And what was your sorry, Trans?
I don't know. I can't think of one, really. I don't know. I get really attached to the characters in the games.
Have you ever played Until Dawn? Have you ever played Until Dawn?
No.
It's like, have you ever seen the Dark House? It's just very simple. There's one character I absolutely hate, and she was a massive bitch. To be fair, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was like I wanted to. I know she probably was part of the character itself, but she was a massive bitch. To be fair, and it was just kind of downed. I'm glad, in Until Dawn, you have to. It's like a horror game, and you have to survive all the people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like an action packed, so like a decision, like Heavy Rain and other types where you have to press the buttons to make a decision of where to go and like for each chapter. And there was horror. It was like a horror scene, so it was just like a proper zombie, just like a proper horror game, come out of nowhere, like proper scares and stuff. There was one character where I don't care if I don't complete the trophy. I don't care. One of them was a massive bitch, and I'm glad I killed her on the spot. I know I sound harsh on there, but she was. If you saw the character, you knew that was it. Vanilla says Van from Final Fantasy 12.
Vaughn was a bit of an asshole. I kind of understand where Vanilla's coming from that. Day Senpai said earlier, so I've gotten offers to go to other places, but if I don't have issues, why leave? I'm not saying I haven't had problems. I just wish people came and talk to me when there were problems. So, but yeah, Vaughn was a bit of an asshole. I can understand how he'd be annoying. Day Senpai says Tails from Sonic, Ashley from Mass Effect, Wally from Pokemon Ruby Sapphire. Man, I have so many. Wally was an asshole. You're right. He really was. Wally was an asshole, though. He's 100% right. He really was. Like, he was the worst rival. Such a jerk. I'll kick Tails in the head.
Should we get Tails? Should we just give Senpai Tails? I have to call nickname Tails now since he nicknamed
No.
us. No.
No, I'm not calling him Tails. He would hate that anyway. And all Wally did was cry about being sick and getting clapped. Yep, you're right. He did. He really did. He was such an asshole. Annoying and an asshole. Worst nemesis ever in a Pokemon game.
I'm trying to think of some others, but that's the only one
He's
I
such
can.
a little bitch. Goodness, shut up,
Yeah.
Wally. Seriously. Needs fox ears and a tail. I need fox ears and a tail. Thank you. The character trope you hate? Yeah, fair enough. Whiny little bitches? I understand.
I'm trying to think of some questions because we've already made quite a lot of questions and answers, didn't we, from ours?
We
before?
did. We talked throughout the show. We had a lot of questions and answers coming up, so.
Need a maid. Bloody hell, senpai. Bloody hell. I'm trying to think of some others. Oh, okay, good one. That's a
Day
good one,
Senpai has
so.
one.
If you had a franchise you could reboot, what would it be? I know you've said this many times, and I'm shit with memory. I'm so sorry, Trans. You always say this every single time, and if I don't get this right, well, I have completely forgotten it. But I knew
You
said
forgot
this
it already?
Yeah, but
We just talked about this like a week or two ago.
I know, but Trans, once a week's gone, we think about the new stuff.
You slept since then, I understand.
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely slept. No, but I remember
Legend of Dragoon is my reboot remake. And it has been for years, and it will always be Legend of Dragoon. Always.
See, I remembered it was Legend. That's why I called Legendary. But
you're halfway there.
Yeah. I'm glad you haven't killed me yet. To be fair, that'll be good. But for me, Driver.
Yeah.
The first one. And possibly the second. Third can bugger off.
Can just
Yeah.
Screw the third.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to exist.
like what Senpai says, trying to kick Tails in the head. I kick Driver 3's game back.
Yeah.
Just booted off, to be fair. Yeah, Driver 1 and 2, I would like to see it remade again.
Nice.
Or Diddy Kong Racing N64.
I know that you like that one a lot.
That's the only two that I would love. I mean, I've seen GoldenEye did get a remade in the PS3 version, but it wasn't the same. Yeah, but they did it with Daniel Craig's version rather than Pierce Brosnan's version because that would have been weird if they did Pierce Brosnan version when Daniel Craig was the Bond at the time, when he was still Bond.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah, because I mean he was the Bond at the time. Yeah, that makes sense.
But it was weird with Daniel Craig as the character because it wasn't him that did GoldenEye. It was Pierce Brosnan who did GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of weird, and that was the weirdest one. Vanilla says, for everyone, do you think companies will eventually make a game based on a serial killer? That's a good question, actually.
I think there would be moral dilemmas with that. Unless you just do a serial killer, and at the end the serial killer has to get caught, or you're trying to get away with getting caught. I mean, they have games where you can be a serial killer, i.e. GTA 5 Online. Just saying. I mean, we know it's true. But, I mean, I don't know if they would actually do a game focused on it because it's a moral thing. Serial killers are morally wrong people in the generalized society. They might have their own reasons for doing what they fucking do, but they're generally considered to be bad people. So I don't think they would ever actually do it. They might do something that is serial killer adjacent or that incorporates, actions of a serial killer or to try and reform a serial killer maybe, but I don't see an actual serial killer game coming out now.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see there's a niche for it. There's completely a niche for it, Vanilla. 100%. TV shows already base things on real life killers. Yeah, there's a niche for it for sure. But I mean, I don't know if they would want to do a game about a serial killer that would
Real
in
life.
turn make the serial killer be,
Popular.
the person who survives the incident. Makes sense, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know.
I think personally, if they did a game for the serial killer, it should not be the real person's name. Personally,
Fair.
that's me. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to play a game based on a serial killer's name, and they, as you rightly said, Trans, survived the incident afterwards, and they made
Mhm.
another game out of it.
Yeah.
I think it would be awkward at first.
It would, because I mean, generally, serial killers are people that we as a society don't like. You know what I'm saying? They're considered
Yeah.
generally bad people. They do things for certain reasons, but they're still generally bad people. So I mean, it's just one of those things. I think it's a moral dilemma more than anything.
If the game companies did it, it has to be based on a story that's never been done before,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get linked to the original
Yeah.
to the original killer, because if you, it's like you're playing a game that's like I mean the TV shows we watch, like the serial killers and how they've got away with it for murder, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't want to play a game that's similar to how they've done it. It's like you're
Yeah.
following a murder. You're following how
Mhm.
they've done it. And then would that make you imagine the youngsters?
Yeah,
Imagine if
that's what
they
they would
play.
think about. They think about how impressionable it would be for the young ones. Even if it's marked as mature content, kids still get their hands on mature content games all the time. Again, i.e. GTA 5. But I'm saying that, even if it's marketed for mature only, kids still get their hands on it. And I don't think as a moral decision for the society in general, I don't think they would want to expose kids to that type of mindset.
I mean, I don't know if you've heard the story before. Do you remember? Oh, what was it? Manhunt. Do you remember Manhunt?
I do.
I think it was in the UK that this story happened. So
Mhm.
there was two mates. They were playing. Well, one mate was playing Manhunt. Got
Mhm.
so addicted. Was young. Was underage
Yeah.
in the game itself because it was an 18. And obviously he learned how to do the killing. And
Mhm.
he met his mate in a park, and he did exactly what the Manhunt killing
Yeah.
spree was done. And obviously his mate died, and he got done for it. And it was like
Mhm.
that's like, I know. Would you say that the kids are going
Yeah.
to be focused on game violence? Well, it's nothing to do with that. It's one. It should not be the age that they were playing on anyway.
Yeah.
I know some people play or a little bit older games, but as long as there's like a few years gap and not malicious as what happened with
Yeah.
that situation
That's
itself.
what I'm thinking. That's why I'm thinking they wouldn't do it because of how
No,
that happened. Because I mean, they wouldn't want to have a replay of that where a kid gets a hold of a mature content game and, they just effectively enhance certain aspects of that kid's personality, or, that kid, thinks that they can be this person or whatever, cuz kids like to emulate people that they like, including in their games. So, I mean, I think it's a moral dilemma, really, more than anything. I really do. So, I don't think it will happen.
I only would like to see it happen if it's a brand new story, never been done
Yeah.
before, and would never ever be replicated by a serial killer
Yeah.
in real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
That I would accept. But if it's a real life killer, it's kind of like going through their steps of how they've done it, and someone else could emulate it and could do the exact same thing. And no, I wouldn't do that. No.
That's an interesting question, too, Vanilla, that you're getting ready to pose here for us. For everyone, will jiggle physics for male characters ever be a thing? Not as a niche release, but mainstream like subtle jiggle physics are for female characters.
What does that
I
mean?
don't
Sorry.
think so. You know how they have the physics in some games where like the lady parts actually kind of move subtly,
Oh,
but they
yeah.
move, and some not so subtly. I don't think they ever will do that because most of the male parts are covered, so it's not
Yeah,
like you'd
yeah.
see much anyway. And so in the females, because they have the little little string bikini chain corset tops or whatever,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
actually have something to move, but I don't think the male jiggles would ever actually be a thing.
Personally, no. Because, as you
Mm-mm.
rightly say, it's just covers up.
Yeah.
And well, it would, no. It'll be weird when you think about it. Like, imagine strolling down a
It's
walk.
weird when you think about jiggle physics for female parts too, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
different. It's considered to be more. I mean, it's still sexist. I'm not gonna say it's not, but I mean, it's more widespread. I guess accepted than male jiggle physics. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Just
I
depends.
know, I know that. I agree with you, Vanilla, but I'm just saying that it's real life. I mean, it's true. Guys have parts that do move, but um they're usually covered up in video games, so with leggings or whatever. So, and most of them are Ken dolls anyway. So,
Mm. It just depends, really.
yeah.
Like, what game would you see that could happen? Was that all the time?
That's a good
And would that
question. Yeah, without them being covered all the time.
yeah. And then it just depends, really. So just so let's wait and see how everything goes
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it might become a thing. I don't know, but I just don't see it becoming a mainstream thing. Just because, like I said, I mean, with most parts being covered up by most male parts being covered up, and the only time that women's parts aren't covered up, even with a slight bit of cloth, is usually in like a mature content item. But there's more to show because even if they have a woman with like a chain breastplate that's like a string bikini breastplate, then there's still more there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. It just depends, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And just
Yeah.
how to explain. But who
Mm-hmm.
knows? We have to wait and see how everything gets
Never
planned
know.
out.
Someone might come up with it. You never know.
Yeah, and then people will say, "Well, that's sexist. That's sexist. That's sexist." And like,
Yeah.
and then you can't win. Guys, have you got any more questions? Have you got any more? If not, we will have to stop the stream, which is the earliest we've ever been for a very
I
long time.
know, for a long time. Be at 3 hours, give or take. A little bit over that.
Well,
That's crazy.
I tell you what, we'll hit just over the 3 hour mark, and then we'll stop the podcast. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, from that perspective, I'm still cheesed off with Activision Blizzard. To be fair, I'm still cheesed off personally, but I just hope it gets bought out with Microsoft so that Senpai does not tease when he gets the new Crash Bandicoot series, because I'll be livid. I'll be like, hello.
He'd only do that because you like it and he doesn't. That's why he would do it.
Absolutely. Vanilla says, what is a game release you want to see as a streaming series? Oh, that's a good one, actually.
I do not know. I'm trying to think. There's not a lot of games off the top of my head that I could think of. I mean, I don't know if they've actually done it. I think Kingdom Hearts could have some really cool Americanized shows for like stories or whatever. I think that would be good. Final Fantasy does have movies that have been released to the American audience, so I can't really say them. But they could do like an extended version. Resident Evil does too, but they're all movies. They're not like a series.
They did the
I
cartoon
don't know.
series.
Oh, they did do a series? Okay, all right.
They
cool.
did well. They did one movie. I know it was a movie, but they did like a 3D. Don't know why I said 3G. 3D graphic type.
3G Malk. We're going 2G back.
Yeah, 2G back. Oh
2G
my god.
back.
I need to retire after.
Oh, hi, Color XO. Hey, buddy, what you doing?
Hello. We'll get your question in a minute, mate. We'll get your question in a minute. For me personally,
Legend of Dragoon. It's been so long since I've played it. I need to get the emulator version and play it again because it's been so long since I've played it. Chrono Trigger would make a cool series. That would be a cool series, I think. I mean, you could just do aspects of it where he meets the people, but also where he goes on other adventures and other parts of time. That would be a pretty cool show. I think I would totally watch that. I would watch a Chrono Trigger series, like an anime. It'd be amazing.
I would, and I keep saying this today, but I would love to see a driver series.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, like Tanner starts off how it all began to build up to the game into the driver series, and then do another series where he emulates the games of all the series. Then that I would definitely watch.
That'd be pretty cool.
And that'll be really cool as well. Coloroxo? Coloroxo. What is your opinion on VR gaming eventually? Do you think it will completely take over?
That's a tricky question because, you know, when VR came out, everybody's like, oh, it's the next big thing. This is going to be what gaming is going to be in the future. I could see more and more titles being ported over to a VR state. Some games just don't take to it. Like, some games just don't. So I don't think it'll actually take over. But I can see more and more big titles becoming VR ported in the future. But especially like RPGs are the best for VR because you can really be in the world and immersed in the world and immersed in your character. But I don't know if it'll actually ever take over because there's so many other genres that I don't think would port well with VR. I really don't.
I think personally, don't get me wrong, as you rightly said, it was the next big thing. You're like, oh my God, yes. But then, no.
Well, that's like augmented reality, right? When Pokemon Go came out and AR came out, they're like, oh, all the games are going to be like this. And how many games we've had that are AR? How many of them have flunked? And we're just now getting more AR games. Come on, it's.
The place. I don't know if you've heard, but there was like the PlayStation VR that went well for a bit, but then there was only selected games, and then they started to build up to all the other games. But I will be honest, I tried the VR and it was on Skyrim. I wanted to try it on the Gran Turismo, and I would have loved it. But there was only the one spot, and there was loads of Skyrim. When I was playing Skyrim, it felt awkward because all the images were like 2D, but imagine like a grass bush in front of you, but it was like flat. Yeah. So there was a bit of a gap, and there was another bush with a gap.
The Skyrim VR port was a little bit lacking because we had it too. I mean, it was cool that you could be in the world of Skyrim, but it was not immersive at all in any way. But I think RPG titles take very well to VR. But I don't think that you know, it's going to take over because there's so many other titles that would not take well to VR. Like, can you imagine doing a Seek game and, like, you know, one of those Find It games in VR? That would be weird.
It would.
It'd be so weird. I mean, it'd kind of be cool because you'd be in the room looking for the items, but it would still be like, again, it'd be like 2D superimposed. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it would just be weird. Like, and of course, scrollers don't take very well to VR. So I mean, you can't. There's so many genres of games that just don't take well to it that I think that it's not going to actually ever be like a takeover thing. But I think like RPGs, it'll become more popular for RPGs since people like to dream about being in those worlds anyway.
That's true.
And we did have the PlayStation VR Coloroxo, so I know what you're talking about. They are pretty awesome, and my boyfriend still has his VR for his computer, and so he actually sometimes just sits there and watches shows in his media room. So
that's class. And he did say he says he has one personally, and it's just truly great to try. You don't understand how good it is until you use it.
Exactly.
I mean, I think when you play it at first, it gives you that weird effect. on you. But then once you got that out of the system, you go into like the scene and you're like, yeah, I play on it, and it's unbelievable. And don't get me wrong, it should be what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the place for all jiggle physics to be. Vanilla would be in VR because it's supposed to be virtual reality. It would make more sense if there's more reality to virtual reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We have to wait and see. Just have to wait and see how everything goes itself. But
we'll see.
We have to wait and see how everything gets sorted as well. But guys, I think it is the time. Trans looks eager. This is the time now to say we're gonna have to stop the stream. We're gonna have to stop the podcast.
Yeah.
This is the earliest we've ever been for a very long time.
In a long time. We haven't been under 3.5 hours in a very long time.
Well, we're just over now. We're just over 3 hours now.
Yeah.
But normally it's like 3.5 to 4 hours to 4.5 hours at most.
I don't think I've ever did 4.5. I don't think we ever will do a 4.5 hour episode.
You said that now. You do know Ted's going to come back and like, yeah.
We'll see. But yeah.
The thing is, we'll see. It's either yes or hell yes. You know at this point now. So, guys, this was the podcast. We've had all the segments, which is the PC console news. We had the main discussion to turn into a free-form discussion to cursing Bethesda as well.
Yeah. A lot of anti-Bethesda sentiments and positive Bethesda sentiments too. So it wound up being the Bethesda episode.
Yeah, probably will have to be called that as well. And then we turn to the GTA RP updates from both Dennis Senpai as well as Trans. Would like to thank the Dennis Senpai for joining us tonight. Absolutely. An absolute legend you are. You have had the trilogy for the first time that you'll be recorded as the first person ever to be in the same show 3 times in a matter of one season.
Yeah.
That's mad, to be fair. And I can't believe this is episode 13. So, and then we've had the Ask Us Anything part. So, unfortunately, we've got to have some bad news for you guys. Unfortunately, next week there is no podcast because I'm unavailable. Unless Trans wants to do the whole podcast by herself, which I doubt if she wants to do that.
I don't know. That's a lot of pressure, man.
Yeah, so there's no podcast for next week, but we will be back on 2 weeks' time, which is the 30th of April. I think it is. Let me just double check.
Today is the 16th, so yeah, that'd be the 30th.
Yeah, so the 30th, the Injustice. I'm sorry, Vanilla.
Vanilla.
It's just because I'm unavailable next week. So we'll both be back on the 30th, but then on the 7th, we will not have another podcast. We will have another break.
That's me. I've got a mandatory work thing. I'm expecting to be there longer than it says. If we get out when I say I'm going to get out, I'd be able to make it to the show, but at that point I won't be able to make it if we have to go over at any point. So we won't have the show on the 7th of May either. Those will be our 2, breaks for this season, since we had 2 last season because of mandatory stuff too.
I can't believe we've got 7.
We'll come back and only have 6 episodes left.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
Yeah, we've got about 7 episodes left after today, before we end season 2 of the podcast. And we've got, like I said, I'm still going to discuss with Trans about the bonus content on the Spotify. Forgot to mention, guys. After tonight, I'm hoping to upload all up-to-date of the episodes on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, anywhere that has got the podcast available
tune
to
in
download
as well. Yeah.
But it says 7 episodes left. My reign is just beginning. Well, I'm waiting for that moment of the burn desire as well. So, but like I said, guys, I mean, me and Trans have been absolutely loving the podcast each and every
Yeah.
single week that we have been doing, and without you guys, I think we
Kind of
wouldn't
our
be where we are.
baby. It's our
Yeah.
little. It's our baby brainchild.
To be fair, Tran started it all off, so I've got to say it is her little baby to start off with at first. Until she said, "Malk, be the host. Be the host."
We should do a show. We could do
Should
a
do the
show.
So what we're going to do, guys, is obviously 7 episodes left of season 2. Then we'll usually have a little bit of a break, and then I'm sure we'll guarantee between ourselves that there'll be a season 3 of the
Most likely.
most likely will be. But we'll have to wait and see how everything goes. I'm sure it's all signed, sealed, and delivered. We haven't done the contract yet, written it down, but it's all good. But like I said, guys, next week, no episode, no podcast. We will be back in 2 weeks' time on the 30th of April, 2022. I'd like to thank, as I said, Dennis Senpai again because he's absolutely amazing. And
all
thank
love
you for
to my homie.
Yeah, we would have had a special guest this week, but unfortunately she couldn't make it. Thank you, Trance Girl, for the legendary the notes and everything that you have done so far on the podcast. Without you, there will be no podcast, as always, each and every single week.
Thank you.
And I was your host with the most, Retro Wolf
Malk.
Live, aka Malk, as always. Well, bloody hell, Vanilla. Have you seen Vanilla's comments?
Oh, yeah, I see him.
Madness stuff, to be fair. But if you want to get in touch or want to try and get into the podcast, get in touch with us and we'll try our very hardest to make sure that you'll get it there if you want to. But you have to be a streamer.
You can reach me through my Discord. You can reach me through my email link, which is in my about section. You can reach me through multiple facets. You can reach me on Twitter. You can reach me on Twitch more often than not.
Well, there you go. Follow us on Twitch. Either Retro Wolf Live, myself, or Trans Gamer Girl. I'm just saying this again because last time I said
because my Twitter is Trans Gamer, so
and then she cursed me out when I said Twitch. And he's like, "Oh, sorry."
Oh, that's right. It's Twitch. Sorry. Yes, Trans Gamer Girl on Twitch.
Mad seas. But yeah, cheers for that, guys. We're going to be back in 2 weeks' time for episode 14. 7 episodes left. What's going to happen in the frantic episodes of the Bish Bash Bosh podcast? Anyways, I hope everyone has a very good Easter. Happy Easter to all of you.
Yes.
And have a good break. And we want to hear more questions, more GTRP, more news, everything.
We got 2 weeks to come up with more questions and stuff. So definitely think about those questions you want to ask us in 2 weeks' time. So
absolutely. When are you next streaming again? In between time?
Not Monday. I won't be able to do Monday because I have a thing for work that afternoon, so I won't be streaming on Monday at all. I may try and get a stream in sometime later in the week, but I've got a very, very busy week coming up. I've got 2 early days and other longer days that are going to be a strain. So I don't know when. If I don't get a stream, I might do one next Saturday, just to fill in the gap for the actual time and have a stream on deck for the week. So if I can't get one before then, I might do one Saturday. So
nice one. I will be back tomorrow for my own stream. So I'll be doing my own Retro Wolf classics of retro games. So I'll be back properly because it's Easter. We're going to have a good time as well. So, but like I said, guys, if Trans can do the stream for next week, check her out. Absolutely amazing. And we're going to be shooting off. So, ta-ra a bit.
Bye, guys. All love. Bye.